We are back. Welcome to Good Earners reviewing The Sopranos. By the way, we hold the top tier positions in the Soprano space. But here on Good Earners, we like to talk about family, finessing, finances, and feelings in the world of Tony Soprano, bringing you a new perspective, a fly perspective, and a black perspective. Listeners, you misread us entirely. You must think we're some kind of thugs. Spike Lou, Rich, what's happening?
What's going
What's
on,
going
brother?
on? Yeah, what's going on,
Salute.
brothers, man? How y'all feeling?
Good, man. Good to be here.
It's good to be here,
Absolutely.
Strong
man.
season, strong episodes. Yes.
Boy, talk
Yeah.
about a
That's what we
strong
do this.
season.
It's funny.
This is what we do this for.
Yeah.
This
You know-
episode right here.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, man. You know what's funny? When you go back, one thing I love to do is go back retroactively
Okay.
and just read stuff, read articles, read reviews, just read what was going on during the actual time. This was a very decisive season, man. Divisive season, should I say? Not decisive, divisive. Something that was interesting was Sopranos became like the Sopranos, air quotes, around season 3. And a lot of people's first time watching Sopranos in real time was season 4.
Mm.
And it wasn't what they were expecting. Like, I thought about that. That was interesting. If you have to sit with this, we at the point now, we just binge them, just watch them and it's whatever, in any order, at our own pace, whatever. But if you had to sit with this for 3 months, and it's your first time watching, it is a little bit different from the first 3 seasons and why people fell in love with it. So I found that to be interesting because we don't have that perspective of having to wait 1 week each episode.
Yes.
But personally, man, I love the season, and this is certified stamp top 5 episode of Sopranos. I don't even think that's up for argument.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I like
I
it.
think it's top 5. Like, yeah,
I like that type of
got
talk.
man. Yeah. James Gandolfini won an Emmy for this episode. Edie Falco won an Emmy for this episode.
Uh-huh.
David Chase won an Emmy for this episode.
Yeah.
There was someone else that won an Emmy. Like they cook, bro. Like this is acting class right here. This is what you put on the reels. All the students at Juilliard and Yale Acting School and all that shit. Jonathan Majors, when he was at Yale, they put this clip on and said, "Yeah, this is what you do."
Yeah.
A scene like this. This is one of those moments. I made that up.
Nah, I'm about to say this is where he got to hold me down like Carmelo.
Damn.
That's where he got it from.
I made that up. My point was
That was
it's
cold.
that good. It should be on
That's
everybody's
deep, boy. Riggs is good.
Notes
Boy.
from the class, boy.
damn,
but it was plausible coming from you though, because you be in that type
That's
of bag.
that's scary.
Like,
That's scary. That is scary.
I'm like,
I'm glad I clarified.
Yeah, who am I dealing with right now?
research, right? Like, shit.
That is scary
You
how you
interview
got that off.
somebody that-
And I wouldn't have blinked the eye about it. Who are we
not
dealing
at
with?
all.
Ray P, if you
I
ever
was just
listening,
looking
please teach me about your brother here, man. Nah, but what would you say, Rich?
No, that's it, man. I just love how season 4 wasn't as well received as I thought originally. Over time, it has. You know what I mean? But a lot of people just to show y'all been ranting and raving about episodes like Columbus, like this the shit y'all telling me I need to rush and watch. So it's especially, like I said, especially when everybody knows how it is. When you watch a show week by week.
Yeah.
I mean, all at once when you binge watch. Yeah, I binge watched Game of Thrones. I didn't watch Game of Thrones until in real time until season 7. So just imagine, like, it was hard waiting every week for a new episode and living up to the expectations that I had for those first 6 seasons. So, like I said, I personally disagree, especially now it's been 25 years. But this episode we talking about today, it's one of them ones, man.
It is.
I feel like 2 of the most difficult shows to watch in real time, but it was worth it, was Game of Thrones. I believe I started watching that maybe season 4 or season 3 real time. That was definitely like, you hated the wait, but it was worth it.
Did you hear about Reigns of Castamere and then was like, oh, I got to check it out? Is that what happened?
I had already started watching it once I heard about the Red Wedding and Reigns of Castamere. But I hadn't got there yet.
Okay.
So I was behind, and motherfucker was like, "Oh, wait till you get to this episode." So I was like binging to get to that episode, and then the next season coming up. Yeah, that's really what
That's what made you. Okay, I got you.
Absolutely. I ain't really started liking the show till the 9th episode of the first season.
Yeah, that's about right.
And then Lost. Lost was watching Lost in real time was different. That shit was different. Like I still remember how that felt. Pause. Like that shit was nigga. Lost was that shit in
like
real
what
time,
is going
bro.
to you were in that world.
Like, you was like, nigga, you better be in front of your TV at 7:00 on Mondays, boss.
This will be a we gotta file this away for a Bing episode. Like just one of those best shows to watch in real time.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
because there's certain shows where if you weren't a part of that conversation, like you had to
see it. Yeah,
if
like
you didn't
Breaking
see
Bad,
it,
another one. Like season 3, 4 Breaking Bad, like you had to see that in real time. Yeah, that's a good topic right there.
Because even if you see it afterwards, if you miss that conversation, there's only a handful of shows that dominate the conversation. Like you go to work and everybody talking about it. You go to the gym, everybody talking about it. Yeah,
facts.
Everywhere.
You missed that. Did you see what happened last night?
Yeah, that was the original Twitter spoiler. Like that was the original spoiler Twitter at the workplace for sure. You got to turn your headphones up. You don't want them to, you know what I mean?
You don't want nobody up. I think I made a reference on this before, but that the scene when Jack and Kate, is it Kate? And Jack and Kate met on the bridge, and we found out that they had got off the island. I still remember like my jaw dropping from that. Like, nigga, what?
Bro,
you gotta love those moments.
Yeah, man. One moment for me, I always go back to for some of the other listeners like Dexter. When Dexter found his wife when he was going after the Trinity killer, and he caught the Trinity killer, got him up out of there, but the Trinity killer got him up out of there. His wife, he came home and his wife was in the tub full of blood. I was like, oh my God,
damn, that's
bro. Man, I'm still ain't recovered from that because she was such an innocent bystander, bro. It hurt me. Me. I'm still messed up.
Spike, you know what that remind me of? What movie? Innocent Wife.
7.
What's in the box? Seven.
What's in the box? We just reviewed that not too long ago. That's how I knew what you was talking about.
Yeah. That's the first thing I thought about. Just like, damn, I got you, but you got me.
Yeah, exactly.
Put the gun down. Put the gun down. What's in the box?
Yeah, but
Denzel was supposed to play that Brad Pitt role.
Oh, he would have bodied that.
He turned it down because he said he thought the script was too demonic. And then he saw the movie. He was like, damn, I messed that up. But he was supposed to play that Brad Pitt role.
I love that information. The movie guy, boy, that's fire. I got a hot take about Denzel, but I'll wait till my CG appearance.
Oh,
okay.
No, a good one. It's a good one. No, it's a good hot take. Okay. Yeah, good hot take. But y'all not here for our hot takes and our other shows. We're here.
Damn, I forgot. Hey, also real shit. I forgot we was recording.
Yo, that's wild. You thought we was on the back of the beam, boy.
Hey, I'm tripping, bro. I forgot I thought we were just talking, man.
Nah, that's the beauty of this relationship with these the couple of tree things here. But before we get into the episode that we're reviewing, obviously y'all know by the title, there's some love that we've received from some supporters of ours. So we'll start on Instagram first. Our good buddy Chris Falone, he says he responded to the Back of the Bing episode. He said, bro, Wendell Pierce as P is a fire for emojis. He says, I always said if I could have a beer with one dude from The Wire, it would be Bunk. Prep school boys. He said prep school boys would pee themselves when they seen him coming.
Straight up.
That was really good. And then he kind of sent us like a note of a guy that was in the Eloise episode of Mario Payne. And he says that he was a bartender at a coffee that everyone used to hang out back in the day. And Federico got him a cameo basically for shits and giggles. So shouts out to Chris Falone, man. He's our Jersey connection. He be giving it up, like putting me on game on like what's going on and what it was. I don't know how old Chris Falone is, but like he talk about back in the day, like I'll say, okay, he must be a little older, but he keeps us in tune over there in Jersey and how it was. So
shout out to Chris, man.
Shout out Jersey, man.
Yeah, shout out to Jersey. Sue Surf.
I got one before you go for that.
Sue Surf is crazy. Go ahead.
Sue Surf was insane. I just try to slip right over that.
Insane. That's all right.
That was insane. Just 3 that I had. I didn't really get to finish y'all's yet, but I am listening to it. Mm-hmm. Artie, for me, swap Charles S. Dutton. Rock. Feel like he got a
Charles S. Dutton
I can see that.
Quirky little character. I feel like it would be a good person to Tony. For Carmella, I had Lynn Whitfield.
We talked about Lynn.
Yeah, we
talked
did.
about
I
Lynn.
heard you. I didn't
You had
get
her
to
as
y'all.
Melfi, but you had her as had her. Okay,
I got her
like
as
that.
Carmella. Yeah,
I like that.
I
And
can
for
see
Big
that
P,
was the. Yep.
Big P was Forrest Whitaker.
I can see
okay,
that.
then.
Yep, that's a
I can
good.
see that.
Yeah, it's a stretch, but yeah,
No,
those
I
are the
don't
three
think
that
so
I
because
can say.
Forrest Whitaker could play that like nerve wracking, like
Exactly.
yeah,
That's what I was.
You
Yeah,
kind
he
of feel
played-
bad for him a little bit. Like yeah, he could.
Mhm.
Yeah, Forrest Whitaker can play anything.
Rich,
That's
I
what
was
makes it
so
work.
mad, bro. I got off and we're getting into the episode. Just y'all bear with us. This is the finale. Rich, I was so freaking mad. Like, not mad for real, but like when we got off and I thought about it, because you know, you're in time, you're excited. Bro, I didn't even think about Godfather of Harlem. So in my head, like, I'm like, bro, I bodied this in my, and then I'm thinking about, it's like, dang, that is like cheat code, but it never registered in my mind that he's doing it. That's why I was like, dang, I didn't like it.
Still, no, it's a great pick. It's a great pick. It's just more so when I thought about it, like, because my mind went there too.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I don't want to feel like I'm cheating. I feel like that's an easy way out. Not saying that's what you did.
No,
I just wanted to go away from it because it was so right there. I'm like, damn.
If we didn't have that, I was like, oh, that forces. But I mean, we can go Michael Beach too. Like I said, I still stand on Michael Beach, so I wouldn't change that out for
Who's that?
Whatchamacallit? The husband in Soul Food.
The cheating
Beach,
husband.
yeah.
The cheating
Miles.
husband. Miles, but he
That's
played.
who?
Oh, Tony.
That's Tony.
Like, have you seen later roles with him? Because he's got that ability to make you hate him and like him, feel bad for him. He's really an underrated actor, bro. Like
the bald head nigga with the beard.
Yeah.
He was in.
Kind of, yeah. He do kind of favor Rich.
Rich a little bit,
yeah. I would say so.
Chill out.
Rich Beach.
Y'all want to. Y'all want to hear the person that people. Y'all want to hear the person that people say that be pissing me off?
Who?
I got one too. I was just.
You say who?
Derek Fisher.
That's
Derek Fisher.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Derek Fisher. Wow.
I got two. I went to go play golf. A nigga hit me with one, and I was at the airport, and the nigga hit me with one.
Yeah, what's up?
I went to the airport security line. The nigga said, "Man, you played in Atlanta? You Lakeith?" Called me Lakeith Stanfield.
Yeah, Lakeith is a classic. Yeah.
I was beside myself on that. And another nigga called me Forrest Whitaker when I go play golf.
That's crazy. We might be fighting. We might fight. We might fight.
Said, niggas, is something wrong with my eye, nigga?
Yeah, that's the
first all y'all
that's
niggas
the first place that I went.
All right, that's what they say.
All y'all niggas.
It was a black dude, though. It was a black dude. That's what it was.
Crazy.
But
that's even crazy.
He wasn't the first person to say that. Animal Brown be saying it too, that Forrest Whitaker.
That's
a little joke.
That's wild.
That's like the Tony B joke.
I don't see that one at all.
The Tony B and the Tony joke to Tony B, the Ichabod Crane. It's like he stopped laughing when he said that. You know, it's like, bro, don't call me that. But anyways, another.
Whoa, are you fat?
Boy, are you fat?
Boy, are you fat?
From our guy, GS Money Baby from the last episode, Eloise. I don't know. Did I read this last time or? No, I didn't. That was last episode. Okay, it says good episode made and goodbye to one of the best stand. Oh no, I did read that one. I did read that. That was on the back of the bean. Okay. We got. It says. I guess it just says YouTube content. YouTube content. That's the name, I guess. But he says great idea. Got to go with Rich's team, and this is the Sopranos fantasy draft from one of the back of the Bing episodes. So shouts out to them.
Yeah, appreciate that, man.
Yeah,
I'm glad some people out there agree.
Yeah, man.
Spike cooked me, man. Shit.
he was cooking. I mean, but next one we got Peter Kiwanuka. He says he responded on the Black recasting, the last Back of the Bing episode we did. He says, brothers, I typically don't comment on anything, but man, I felt like I was down with the boys. Love this episode.
Shout out to,
I felt like I was having a sit down with my boys. Love this.
Okay, now that's different. The boys and my boys is different. Any day with brothers.
My bad. Didn't want to.
Nah, shout out to him because I know what that's like. I'm somebody that
facts.
if I take time to actually comment on something, that means I really fuck with it. I appreciate that sentiment.
Me too.
Facts.
Me too.
We appreciate that one.
We definitely do. Supporter of ours. Roland Magcan, he says he responded to the Armor 4 episode, season 3, episode 12. We know that's the Gloria and Tony, episode or whatever. He says, killing it. He says, I love Sopranos. Let me make sure I extend the message so I don't get it wrong. He says, I love Sopranos on so many levels, and these guys here have a take on this that is spot on. Good luck on building this channel, fellas. Cheers.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, that's shouts out to you, Roland. And I think our last one for today, I don't know what he was trying to say here, but this was from the Eloise episode. He says, dude advertised he spells Rewiwe. I think it's a typo. I don't know what you were trying to say, but shouts out to you for leaving a comment. I think that might be it.
Shout out to dude, man. Please write back and
yes,
let us know.
Yes, and we got subscribers and stuff, but shouts out to all the new subscribers. I'm not gonna go through that whole list, but Spike Lou, what episode are we reviewing today, brother?
Great question, Mo. This is season 4. This is episode 13, the season finale, entitled Whitecaps. In this episode, Carmela seems to be coming down with a little bug. She's battling a little bug there, man. I don't know what's wrong with her. Chris, he's been released from rehab. Tony, he has a surprise for Carm down on the beach. Hopefully it'll make her feel better. Tony and Johnny sack. They agree on a plan, and then they have to revisit that. Tony also meets his new neighbor, a potential neighbor, Allan Sapp, while viewing his new potential home. Also, Junior gets a trial update, and Carmela gets a disturbing phone call that could shake up the world of The Sopranos. This is season 4, episode 13, the finale, legendary episode, Whitecaps.
And we're gonna call it Black Caps. No, I'm just playing. So we open to the first scene of the episode. Carmela and Tony, they're at the doctor's, and Tony gets a call from Patsy, and we find out Chris is out, but they're trying to figure out what's going on with Carmela. And this is Cusimano, correct? Dr. Cusimano, right?
Mm-hmm.
So where did he get this hair from? Like his hair is like brown. If you go back to the earlier season, he has a shorter hairstyle and it's like gray all through, like salt and pepper. All of a sudden, his hair is like sandy brown. I almost thought like, is this like a twin or is this another actor, bro? I low key, like it was crazy. I had to go back to the first season just to double check, but he looked totally different. I got something I want to bring, but it's gonna be true Mo fashion. I think I know what I'm gonna say, but before we get to that,
coming out of the
come on. That was no
mark down. Let me go and mark.
Look at him. See, look at you got your vision board over there.
That on my bingo sheet. Mo comments on Adriana coming out of the rehab center.
But come on, like it was very noticeable here, though, right?
She look good. You look good.
You look good. You look good,
girl.
Yeah,
you look good. Yeah.
But yeah, what did y'all think about this scene?
I don't know if I've ever paid attention to Dr. Cusimano's hairpiece, man. That's a great move.
Yes.
Shout out to him.
Very observant.
Very observant, man. But obviously, the wildest part about this scene is that Carmela is thick, and we find out that it's not lupus. Thank God for that. But has anything happened in your life? Right, score 1 for the Italians. Has anything happened in your life recently? Any kind of drastic changes? It's psycho. Like not psycho, like psychotic, but psychoanalysis or psychoanalyst, whatever. It's a psychological sickness.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's so upset about the fact that Furio's going that she's actually sick about it. She has to go to the doctor to get checked out because her body is functioning different because she's heartbroken. That's insane. That's wild, especially what we've been saying the whole time. They've never even shared anything intimate other than like a friendship connection. Which is, once again, I know I keep saying this, and I'll leave this in season 4, but why did they not get together at least once? That would have made this season so satisfying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They fumbled that, man. But shout out to Chris being out too. You forget Chris's presence. He's not here a lot in season 4 at all. But things really pick up. We'll talk about the Chris issues that I have. What?
I feel like he was here up until like 2 episodes, and then
no, he was. I'm just talking about even like there's not a ton of Chris storyline outside.
Like they did in it. Okay, got you.
Yeah, for him to leave, like Columbus, he wasn't there a lot, whatever the case is. But there's some other Chris things in this episode we'll get to later on.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest thing is Carmela just literally sick about Furio going. Like, that's crazy.
You spoke before we started recording, Rich, about the acting in this episode, and it's such a wonderful job by Edie Falco and James Gandolfini. But even in this scene, like I was immediately irritated when they showed Carmela's face. Like, and I think that speaks to her acting job. Like, I was just like, this bitch in the hospital? Like, what? Like, it irritated my soul, bro. So that's the character, and for the show, I hated it. But her as an actor outside this, bro, she was bodying this whole episode. But she just looked pitiful.
Yeah.
Like, to look that pitiful and like, bitch, what you mad for? Like, I was immediately irritated.
Nothing happened. Y'all gonna hear that a few times in this episode. Okay, just get used to it. If this wasn't called Whitecaps and this was a different type of pod, this episode will be called Nothing Happened. Because that is my whole thing. It's like, okay, I get it. Somebody that's gonna listen be like, oh, you don't understand the psychological, emotional state of when you're in love with whatever. I get it. We have emotional intelligence here, but the reality is nothing happened. You couldn't have been an adult about it. You wasn't an adult about it. So you didn't you pussyfooted and you were scared about it. You wasn't about it for real. So you know what I mean? We will get there. But nothing happened. You just sick in the hospital and yet nothing happened. Not even a kiss.
That was a genuine happiness from Tony about Chris leaving rehab. Did y'all pick up on that? That was really like,
oh yeah.
Talk to him.
I think that was a genuine.
I was surprised by that.
It makes sense compared to what we see later in the episode. There are certain things there's certain meetings that Chris is at, and I'm like, nah, bro.
What's he doing now?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I definitely would say, to go back to the Adriana thing, I definitely think that she looked like she's ready for him to perform as a man. So we can go to the next thing, the Sacramone's house. Jenny tells Johnny, say that 5 times, that their kids' tuition check didn't go through. And they may have to, and he says that they may have to start tightening their belt. Boy, is this a challenging conversation to have with your gal. Like, this is like to start saying, hey. And he said, you talking about going shopping after I just told you, like, yo, it's tightening up, which is basically, obviously, this is from the Esplanade.
Sally Mae calls, and the first thing you think is to go shopping?
I'm like, right. That, bro, you want to get me hot? You, boy, anyways. But of course, it's because the Esplanade has stopped. They've been having this feud, from a negotiation standpoint. I wanted to ask, though, why y'all can tell me whatever y'all got from the scene. Why was Johnny Sack so mad about Little Carmine spending his money?
It's like, right, a good life. Like, you the prince. I'm here in the butt of it, going through all of this shit. I'm dealing with your dad. You fucked me on the Tony conversation. Like, you just out here living it up. That's like you would look at any entitled rich kid. I'm putting in this work. I'm trying to be like, obviously we found out later in the episode what Johnny Sack is trying to do, but like, yeah, it's irritating the shit out of my money running low. Like, nigga, like you out here living it up, kiki and cockeying. I'm on your head.
Facts. And that's what it comes down to. Like, I got to work for this. Like, I know I got it good. And that's what's beautiful about The Sopranos and classism in general. You look at the scene, you see this beautiful house with this beautiful deck. Like, I would love to have a crib like Johnny Sack's, man. Host people have fellas and they ladies over, kick it, you know what I'm saying? All that kind of good stuff. So from the outside looking in, you look like you're living a good life. But my man, we got belt tightness, but belt tightening looks different for different classes, right? For us, belt tightening means that you can't go to Nordstrom or we can't go to Italy. Oh, boo-hoo.
Yeah.
You feel me? Yeah. But also, it's still annoying when I am the man. Like, I set a standard to my wife and my family that I'm gonna provide. And I'm frustrated. I'm not really frustrated at Jenny. I'm frustrated that I gotta tell her that I'm not able to do this. And the last thing I want to hear about is this motherfucking Carmine who ain't got that problem. He'll never have that problem. He ain't even, matter of fact, he don't even eat off the Esplanade. He good. He down in Miami kicking it, flying here and there. Like, come on, man. Fuck Carmine. I'm the one putting in the work, like Spike said.
Yeah, we find out later in the episode that this is pretty much Johnny's whole bag is the Esplanade. It's wrapped up into this versus at least Big Carmine. I don't know if Little Carmine's
the majority of his bag, not the whole bag.
Well, majority of it, but where everything else he got is nowhere near the same as what Carmine got going. That's why Carmine could go to war about it, and he could be stubborn about it. So it makes sense, and it's different too because you see Johnny Sack here. He's kind of got like I don't know if it's a track suit, but you don't really see Johnny Sack
suit on. I don't think that was. I think it was just him being more leisurely in a leisurely position. I don't think that was.
I probably, but knowing David Chase, like I seen something recently where, no, you know what? It might have been Chris Falone. He might have sent me something, but like I seen something that was so deep. I'm like, how did David, like, how did y'all even write this? It was something that's like you would think it was a throwaway and it wasn't. So I find it hard to believe this very moment she pulls up on him and he got the, like, what's the name on the tracksuit on, it's like just a throwaway. I think it's something there. We're not that podcast, like I've said before, but I think it speaks to something when it comes to Johnny Sack as far as not having the suit on. Anything else y'all want to add to this scene?
No. Just the idea that once again, going back to class, the idea of living check to check isn't a minimum wage type of thing. Like, this is how, when you see those documentaries, Broke, and you wonder how people who make millions of dollars go broke, is because of stuff like this. Like, once you hit a certain, yes, you can make a lot of money, but once you start having a lot of money expenses, like big house, property taxes, all that stuff has to be paid for. And that takes a big chunk. It's the same thing we do, you know, whatever scale money we make compared to millionaires. It's just about funding it separately. Like, if I'm being a millionaire is only beneficial if I'm still living the lifestyle I'm living now. Then I can really invest and save up. But if I try to step up my life to a millionaire life, you can be right back at square one where you're struggling and shit. Johnny Drama used to do that shit all the time on Entourage. Like, damn, I can only afford to live in this shit for a couple months because
you want to live a 6-figure life, you need to make 7 figures. You want to live a 7-figure life, you need to be making 8 figures, and so on and so on.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Cross-reference risk. That was a good one.
Put it on some merch, man.
Yeah, man. Come on. We go to the next scene, and Tony and Carmela, they check out a beach house, and we see her father is here, Hugh, and he calls Carmela Mel. I thought that's kind of cute. Tony says that this is a place for when the kids get older, this will be a draw for the family. I just thought that this is Tony's love language. Like, I thought that this is how he tries to love. We know that he's psychotic.
That later in the episode too.
Okay, yeah. I didn't even catch that. See, okay,
yeah,
is this in Jersey? That's what I wanted to ask.
This is his version of a ruby ring.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah,
it's on the Jersey Shore, I'd imagine.
Jersey Shore, where the TV show used to be.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Oh, really?
I don't know if it's the same area, but Jersey got a long shoreline.
Place. Yeah, they got a really popular shoreline for affluent white people.
Affluent. What does that mean?
Rich. Well off.
Well-to-do.
Anything else y'all want to add to this scene? I'm just going through the Whitecaps crib and everything.
It seems, since we've seen the entire series, I'm always sort of surprised when I see the Suburban. I feel like the Escalade is burned more in my mind. So when he's still driving the Suburban, I'll be like, damn, he's still in the Suburban?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Which the Suburban was what it was at the time.
Spoiler alert, yeah.
That's right. Spoiler alert on the whip change.
I will say that it is a little bit odd, considering what Tony and Carmela have gone through, to jump straight to buying a house.
I feel like he's trying to be like, he had the revelation with the one-legged lady. I feel like that he's trying to be that the ideal husband, and it kind of gets into it later. Like, but still, what did you sign up for? I'm gonna do dope shit like this, but you still know what you signed up for. So it made sense.
Yeah, I agree.
But in the sense of, it made sense in the gesture, but what I didn't understand, and what I've always struggled with, is his espionage money was shut down as well. But he was doing well enough to put $200K up for a down payment on a new house.
Well, I
found interesting because Johnny Sack, it was a very stark contrast to Johnny Sack complaining about money the scene before and Tony buying a house, yet we would assume they were in the same position as far as the missing money. And Johnny Sack was taking it a lot differently than Tony Soprano was. And I've got a thought on balanced out.
I've got a thought on that, but Mo, I'll let you go ahead. Go.
No, you go ahead. It might be what I'm about to say might flow better with what you're about to say.
I think that Johnny Sack is much more responsible than Tony, and that's a lot of. All right, so if you're watching this for the first time, I'm not going to go into detail, but there's a later episode in another season where somebody asked Hesh what they think Tony got. Like, you know what I mean? He said with his lifestyle, like, so we kind of know that Tony lives above his means to a certain extent, and he's made the comment in this episode. I think Carmella said, like, you know, the construction thing shut down, that can't last forever. He's working under the mindset that this is going to be okay. If I got to take a little bit of a hit somewhere, then let's take it. But there's no way everybody's going to lose out on all this money for this long. It's like any other big corporation lockout or, you know, when the auto plants go on, like at some point, I know this is going to, I don't know when, but I know it's going to start back up. This just isn't going to go on forever. And I think Tony's just more so like, fuck it, let's do it. Versus Johnny Sack, like, nah, nigga, I might even be making more than Tony off the Esplanade deal just because of New York and how that shit work. I don't know what kind of split it is. Nah, I can't do it, man. I can't risk it.
Yeah, Johnny Sack crib is much different. I guarantee Johnny Sack crib costs more than the Soprano household.
You think so?
Absolutely, absolutely. Like, bro, you see, it may be close, but it's not. It's probably close. Not close like a regular close, but close in like big numbers close. But we're talking like it.
If he owns all that, if Johnny Sack owns all that land back there, then yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
But house to house, I don't think it's too far out. Yeah, I think Tony got a pool in the back. Yeah.
I mean, but it looked like it almost looked like about 2-3 stories though. Like
Tony neighborhood is like much more like upscale than
what I'm saying. The neighborhood versus you actually having acres.
Yeah, but you paying for that neighborhood. You paying to be in that subdivision. If you Tony, Johnny got a new build. That's gonna be a little. Well, not even just HOA, but like this dog, like the doctors live next door. Like it come with a price to live amongst these people, especially if you Tony Soprano. I would put him about the same boat. I would put because remember he gave that house to somebody later on.
Well,
I know that's a different house,
but it ain't the same house.
No, same house.
That's somebody else's
house, right?
No, same house. Remember, we thought.
Because they was on that deck later on.
Remember, no, it was earlier when we were reviewing a season ago when we thought that we was like, is this Johnny Sack house? And that was with Richie and Janice. We thought that house was Johnny Sack house, but it wasn't.
That's right.
But this house, no, this is the same house later. Like,
this is the same house later, right?
Yeah, but the only reason that was happening because things had changed. Obviously, we'll get there, but like things had changed. That's the only reason. It wasn't that it was any slight on how dope this crib was.
But the only reason I say that is to say I don't think that person who house it becomes would have been as well off financially as Johnny Sack to maintain it if it was too astronomical. I don't see them making Johnny Sack type money. So that's why I do see them making like Tony type money, but I always looked at that house as a little less than Tony's because of how it played out throughout the rest of the season.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah. Now I'm thinking about who was in the house. And
I will challenge that, but not at this moment. I see where you're going, and it makes a lot of sense. But there's some good things I think I could challenge it, but it wouldn't make sense for this moment. We go to Junior's trial. The juror they leaned on is still holding up the trial.
Real quick though.
Yeah.
What a douchebag my man is. What's Allan Sapp out there painting on the deck? But that would just piss me off.
Matter of fact,
I would have been mad. Like,
I'm sorry, real quick. You asked what affluent means. Take a screenshot of him waving with the American flag on the background, painting on the deck with the sweater over. That's the definition.
Flag
the American dream.
If the picture,
if there was a picture for affluent, it would be this. That's what that shit is.
It would be Allan Sapp.
Allan Sapp. That's the American dream right there.
Yeah, man. They had to do that on purpose.
Yeah. And the fact that they were even letting them look at this, knowing that somebody already had a contract in place, but they were concerned about that's crazy, dude. Allan Sapp.
It happens. It's happening in the housing market right now too, though. It's fucked up out here.
Cash payments, man.
You come with a cash offer, bro. You can get some people up out the box. It got to get financed.
Yeah, that's crazy. We go to the Junior's trial, and like I said, the juror they leaned on is still holding up the trial. Speaking of Allan, they're talking about an Allan charge. How crazy is that, right? They say that's how it's got to play out. This is wild to me. It happens, I know. I mean, the mob, that's what they do. But it's wild for me. I've been on jury duty before. I don't know if you brothers have. I've been on jury duty.
You have too rich.
I haven't been on a jury trial, but I've been on jury duty like that.
I've been selected before. That's crazy.
I've been selected and
I've never been
deliberate. Like I've been selected and had to deliberate. Like Yeah,
they held me for 6 days. They held me for 6 days as an alternate, but I never was actually on the actual.
I know I was on the official. We didn't have to be in like a trial, but it was like what I don't know what the other version is, but we had this video. We had to keep looking at this black dude, and we were trying to see, did he transfer a gun to the other black dude? And we kept having to go.
Hell, Mo. I know you gave him
nah, man, nah. So we kept going back. So again, it was so weird because well, people was just kind of like still whatever, and then after a while, people kind of looked at me like as the lead or whatever.
You the foreman? I'm about to say, well, you the foreman. I can see it. I can see it.
I bro,
knew it.
Nah, it wasn't.
You're a leader of men, Mo. You're a leader of men.
It was just.
You see, you're taking this the wrong way. You're trying to downplay it. Not like if Mo was going to be in the jury, no one else was going to be the jury foreman other than Maurice Hunter III.
Has to be,
nobody
man.
else,
bro. Nah, I can see it right now. I can see him getting the room. Everything, man. Hey, he making sure the lunch. Mo making sure the lunch orders is taken out. Make sure everybody got their shit. Yeah, man.
Right. Y'all didn't see that. Hit rewind it one more time.
Bro. Yeah, man. Let me show you this.
Well, before we move on, I'll tell you how it ended up going down. So we kept having because every juror. Well, only reason I was doing because people were kind of like. Just like, oh, well, I'm like, okay, no, because I never just jump in and try to be the leader, but I don't have a lot in my mind. Like, I don't like wasting time really. So like when people just kind of whatever, I'm like, hey, look, you know what I mean? I got the date. Let's get to it. You know what I'm saying? I knew I didn't want to be there another day. I'm like, we're going to get this done today. And so we go and look at the video and we couldn't quite see from where the gas station caught the angle on the camera. And then the dude walked off because a crime had happened or whatever. So we went back to deliberate a few times. And then we finally came back that last time. And I said, hey, can we be absolutely sure we seen a gun transferred from this individual to that one? Can we truly say that? It possibly looks like it, but we never really seen the gun. So can we absolutely be sure? And when that happened, that's when we all end up deliberating. It was probably one person, just like this juror here. But there was one person who was like, well, I still feel like it was a guy. It was like, I still feel like it could have happened. But if we're going by what we could see, then I guess I have to concede. And then that's when we came back that final time, probably went and deliberated probably 5-6 times. And we finally, and you can ask, can you rewind back to the minute 20? Can you rewind back to and finally it was like, all right, that's what I didn't speak up and say, hey, I didn't do that. But it was just like, again, we can't be 100% sure. Like, I don't want to put.
It's not like you're on a grand jury, like they were using you guys to decide if they were going to press charges.
Probably, I think it was something like that. I mean, dude ended up having some more charges anyway, so it didn't even matter.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys you went on a grand jury proceeding versus the jury, because it wasn't no defendants or nothing, right?
Nope.
Yeah, they were using you guys to see if they had enough evidence to press charges amongst the jury.
The conceptual Maurice Hunter III, man, leader of men.
This guy,
Gary Cooper over here.
Oh, y'all guys, man. I don't know what y'all even has me. There has on me. I don't know what y'all mean. Y'all guys are hard to read. Oh man,
you think because we laughing, we making fun though.
Well, I don't know. Y'all are just different kind of guys. You have a certain mystique that I maybe
I can speak for Spike. You know what it is? I can speak for Spike on this because I know we think alike. I tell you why we laugh. We laugh because it's funny how much when you say things it makes sense with who you are. You gotta think, man. Like for those listeners out there, I know y'all talk about it on Another Week in the Books. Like we've never met. None of us have ever met physically in person. So most of our conversations are either we talk off air sometimes, but pre-recording all that stuff. So we're still getting to know each other in that sense. And everything that I think Mo is. Like you yet to disappoint. And it's just funny because it's so right. And that makes me laugh. It's one of those funny laughs like, damn, man, I can't, like, this dude is yet to disappoint me.
So I appreciate that.
It's like that.
Yeah, it's never a clowning you. If I clown you, you'll know.
I wouldn't do that. Yeah, you would be it wouldn't be.
Yeah, it's more so just like, dang, Mo again, like just, yeah, absolutely, 100%. Like this dude is he really is this guy. He's this guy that I think he is.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
All right, so no 180 so far.
Nah, man, you good, man. But I can 100%. If that was a movie, what you just said, and we use people in real life, like who would be the scenario? I'm like, oh, that'd be Mo's character. That's what.
I will say though, I would not want to be on a jury with you, Mo. I would not.
Why is that?
I feel like we be in there forever, bro. I just feel like.
I got right to it.
I can see that.
I wouldn't want to hold it up. I would just. Yeah, go ahead.
Your level of concern for me would probably be like, bro, you're doing too much. I feel like you would care a lot more than I would. And I would be like, man, if you don't sit this nigga down somewhere, let us get out of here, bro, and get lunch.
That is hilarious, bro. You are hilarious. Like, let's just get out of here. Like, somebody's life is in a balance, and he's like, bro, I got things.
Y'all shouldn't even call me down here for these $25 a day, nigga.
I know we got to get to the. I know we got to get to the next scene. Y'all, either one of y'all ever seen Runaway Jury?
Mm-hmm.
Gene Hackman and he be John Cusack's character.
Facts.
Moving all the people. Like, if you wanted to, Mo, not necessarily, but if you wanted to, if it was a case that was important to you, like a really, really important about how the outcome went, you would have been John Cusack.
Yes.
See the movie and you'll know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
You'll love that movie too, Mo. That's a good movie right there.
Patreon movie review Patreon of Good Earners coming soon. Y'all want to pay for that?
Movies with the moolies.
Movies with the moolies.
With the moolies.
If y'all interested in that, y'all start hitting us up, goodearnerpod@gmail.com. Y'all really would pay for that. We would hook it up. Facts.
So you cool with that, but you ain't cool with niggas on the throne?
Nah, niggas
you cool with movies with the moolies, but
it ain't gonna be movies with the moolies. Clearly, it's a catchphrase. It's not the name. Like it definitely won't be that.
So, all right, so niggas on the throne is a catchphrase.
Niggas on the nobody's gonna tune into a podcast called Niggas on the Throne, but
you
black
crazy.
Like Good Earners, you can float it by like, wait, is it black? Well, we can see the cover, but what are they? Nobody's gonna listen to niggas
white
on
people.
the throne.
Man, white people say nigga all the time when they rap.
Love it.
What you talking about?
That's true, but niggas on the throne is wild, bro. Nah, I can't.
All right, let's keep moving, man. My fault. I don't mean to keep distracting.
Anyway, anything I want to add to the Junior trial? It ain't a lot here, but
I like how Junior was mugging dude, man. I like Junior playing this position and he really sold it.
Yeah.
Like he said selling in the room. Like Junior really sold it to dude. Like, nigga, I know who you is. I know my man's gonna reach out to you. You better make sure you hold it down. I like that part of it. Like, that's the mystique about Junior.
Yeah.
So he know how to play gangster well.
You're from the old school, Janice.
Yeah, from the old school, Janice.
Shout out to Richie.
Yeah, man. We go to the Sopranos dinner. Looks like Tony's they order some Chinese. Tony's order is wrong. Carmela says you have to walk through the order with them, and he said, "What good is that if they still have to leave and come back?" This is just a great banter. This is great writing. Just it's real. It's very realistic. But I just wanted to comment here. This is why I don't like delivery, and this is why I don't leave the drive-through without checking my food. This is exactly why, to this day. What else? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What do y'all want to add to this scene?
Would you call them? I have to ask. So you call them, or will you go in when you figure out your order's wrong? Like, what happens next?
If I'm in drive-through or what scenario?
Yeah. So you don't move. You don't pull away from the drive-through until you check your order.
Yeah.
Wow.
I feel uncomfortable. Don't get it wrong. I hate holding up everything, but I'll move through. But now I got to. Yeah, I got to, because you can't play me on my food. I told you how I equate money. Money is time, and time I can't get back. I've earned this money, so I can't let you play me like that.
What if the store is open, like it's 5 PM? Would you do the pull up? You still in the drive-through, but you pull up from the window, then check the order, then realize it ain't right, then go inside, or you just wait at the window regardless?
Most times I'll wait. It depends on if the order is large, like it's like my whole family. Sometimes I'll move, but it'll be contingent on if the line is long, because I may just whip back around. I'll just say, "Oh, okay."
God.
Yeah, bro. I'm not playing, bro. Don't play me. Like, it's my money. Like, yeah, what you talking about, bro? I paid y'all $37, and you missing 3 tacos.
Feeding the whole family. You're feeding the whole family. I'm buying for one.
That's what I'm saying. You probably be like, "Oh, they missed my soft taco. Oh, they missed my crunchy taco." Cool.
I ain't going back again. But I'm not.
You talking about eating there no more? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's over. It's over. I'm one of those spiteful type people. I ain't never eating there again. I stopped eating Pizza Hut for maybe 15 years because I got food poisoning for the one time. I still don't
got food poisoning from Pizza Hut too. That's crazy.
I got food poisoning from Burger King, but I had no business getting food at that time. But
damn, that's crazy. We both had food poisoning from Pizza Hut. Yeah. Super Bowl, the Patriots Eagles Super Bowl.
Hey.
From like 03, 04, whatever that was. I missed it. Everything. I was sick as hell.
Yeah, let it go, Spike. Let it go, bro. You better believe you better believe I'm bringing this up on Thursday. Let's keep it moving.
I don't blame you.
You ever had food poisoning, Mo?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Burger King.
That's one of those unforgettable things.
Oh boy, it's different. You start looking like Carmella in the hospital. You look just like Carmella in the hospital.
Like, if it's coming out on both ends, bro,
yeah, bro, it's terrible. But orange peel beef, classic line. Yes, sir.
I was gonna say, you had asked earlier what we took away from the scene, or if there was anything. The one thing is, I thought it was very interesting, and it's kind of symbolic. Talking about the swear jar or the swear, policy.
That's in my notes.
And she was trying to charge AJ, and AJ like, well, I heard Dad say Mother F coming down. We're gonna make sure this policy is enforced. And AJ said it's too late. And I just thought that line was symbolic for everything in this episode. It's too late.
It's too late.
It's too late, man. You've already lost hold of your house. So you can't just. It's hard to get somebody, a 15, 16-year-old, to change when their whole life is used to one thing. That's what I've made this argument this season about Carmella and Tony. When I just said, hey, man, I'm not saying Carmella doesn't have a right to talk about the money, but since we've been married, it's been this way. It's hard to expect Tony to just one day give up the reins on the arrangement that you guys have had. Like, it just doesn't. It's a hard adjustment. So this is a great point of that, man. It's too late.
Facts. And there's been nothing significant to change to make me want to like change my behavior. Like, changes in behavior come when something happens. Like, people ain't gonna just up and change the behavior because, hey, I want you to do this. Like, okay, it's cool because I love you. I'll try it. But there has to be something tied to an event for you to be like, you know what, this happened. Now I'm trying to do this better. You can't just be like, oh, we don't cuss anymore. Like, nah, bro, fuck that.
Yeah, it's a little more complex.
Take your little tip jar. Yeah, take your little tip jar here. I'll put the money in there. I'm still gonna cuss though.
Yeah, for sure. We go to the kind of pillow talk moment. Carmella and Tony. Tony's going to bed. Carmella is kind of lingering around a little bit and turns the light off, then turns the light back on. And Carmella's just full of it here, and this is why her character is written so well, and it's also why we can't stand her. This is the exact reason. She would have made a move with Furio, but the fact she didn't is because Tony can do this. This is the problem. Why y'all want to be like, oh, Carmella was in love. Carmella should have went with Furio. Carmella deserves better. This is exactly why she don't. This is exactly why she don't get it. Because you want Furio with Tony benefits. That's the problem. That's why you was too scared to jump out there. Because Tony could get this house. Now you talking about me if you want to. I mean, we ain't got to. But
it's impressive to her. That's what impresses Carmella. And I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
You're good.
But
you're good.
That was a good point to come in on. I always reference back to the fight. I don't know if we've gotten that yet, or when Tony says, I saw you. No, when Tony was like, I saw you when I was fighting such and such. He didn't use these exact words, I'm paraphrasing, but how turned on you were that was happening. I think that was in an earlier
the blue dress story, I think.
Yeah, that. And it's that we know that Carmella exists, and we see it as fans, as watchers of the show. However, she tries to act like there's this holier than thou Carmella that's out there somewhere, but we haven't seen it, bro.
Yeah,
we've seen you almost cheat with the priest, the fucking contractor. We seen you steal money from Tony, but it's always like what you were just alluding to, Mo. Oh, I'm just so put off by this, and I have to figure that it just doesn't, bitch. You don't got no morals, just like everybody else on this show. Quit trying to act like you got morals. Like,
come on, man.
You waking me up in the middle of the night. I'm asleep, and you like, well, I guess we could do that. How like we could have talked about this in the morning.
Tony had already moved on
manipulative. Yeah, this how manipulative she is.
Yes.
Like I'm up thinking about Furio, but I'm gonna make it like, we talking about this house, and you should do it. Like, man, Carmella is insane,
bro.
She's insane. To quote the great. God. To quote the great fuck from Succession, what's the dad's name?
Logan Roy.
To quote the great Logan Roy, y'all are not serious people, man. Carmella's not a serious.
You're not serious people.
I love you, but you're not serious people.
Yeah, I love you, but you're not a serious person. That's one of my favorite quotes of all time.
That's a Spike Lee. That's a Spike Lee Rich-ism.
Because it's so on point that you can tell somebody, they'd be like, you're not a serious person, and it's cool. You can go be with the shit somewhere else and deal with other people, but like with me, I need you to be a serious person, and you're not a serious person, and I ain't judging you for it.
I've turned that into a gift. Like I found that scene on YouTube and I send it to people when that's when it resonates.
The Logan Roy.
I just sent that, huh?
The Logan Roy scene.
The Logan Roy scene. Like I got it. Like it's funny because me and Ray P was talking about a TV show. And I sent her that gift when I was describing one of the people, like, you're not a serious person. You're not serious people. Person. Like, and I love that because that's how it is. Like sometimes you just like, I don't even take it serious. Like whatever. Yeah. Let me ask you about this. And because I agree with what you're saying, but just for the sake of argument, was it more about the house or was it more about the fact that Carmella just needed a win?
That the latter. She needed a win. But that's the problem that I have with it is she's trying to dress that up in needing the win to all of the stuff and being manipulative in the point of, well, we can make it about the house. It ain't about the house.
And I guess let me ask you.
I don't think it's either.
Okay, got you. Because I was gonna say, like, would she have made this much of a fit? Like, we just saw her downplay the vacation. Do you think that she was up and about it because, like, damn, I really need this win and I want the house, or was it like I just need any? If he offered that vacation again, I would have been like, all right, man, let's take it.
I think it's just this like subtle, like I need some get back. Like I'm stuck here with Tony, and she's not really trying to work through it, which is why she's just sick as a dog. But like this is kind of like, you know, it's kind of like the cartoon when the smell goes across and the smell hits the person's nose and it kind of does the come here gesture with the finger and they just fall into a trance. This is like the trance for Carmella. Was like, oh, money, oh, achievements, oh, status. It's this thing that it like you notice the minute it happened when you go back to the dinner scene, she's now kind of getting her superpowers back. You know how Superman has the kryptonite, and when you start getting a little bit of kryptonite, you start getting a little stronger. Carmella start putting forks in the right places and knives in the right places because now Tony brought her to this house, and now it kind of becomes, oh yeah, now I remember why I'm here. I'm slowly starting to, you know, that's of course until we get to the transition of where it's gonna go. But like, I feel like it's just one of those like weird, like you start to get your strength back all of a sudden because money, dollars is in your face again. So yeah, anyway.
Point. For me, another to put a bow on it, she does this thing that a lot of women do, and I'm terrible at dealing with. They're trying to lead you down this road as to, I want you to figure it out, but I'm going to drop all of these context clues without saying it. But I just want you to be the man and figure it out. However, there is a way that I want this to go. I just won't admit it, and that burns me up as a man. And this is what she's doing. And she was like, well, Molly, he was like, sulk over it. I was asleep. Like, I wasn't even thinking about it no more. Yeah. We went down there, we looked at it, it was over. You up at 3 a.m, you looking at brochures, you talking to me about finances and investments. Obviously, you want to do it. So just say that.
Just say that. Rich say that the first time.
Say what you mean the first time, man. Like
from the first time, man.
Perfect,
we gotta go do,
perfect example of that.
Yeah, why do we have to do this dance, bro?
Yeah.
My goodness,
Tony,
man, you pissed me off.
You could have said that before you cut the lights out. Hey, you know what? I like the idea. Let's get the house. Cool. Now I can make this shit happen as a man.
Exactly.
I don't want to have to figure the shit out. Like, well, maybe she's saying this. Maybe she's saying that.
Bro, and here's a hot take too. Let me say it now because I'll forget it later. I've done it before. She'll talk about the ring situation. This is just a bigger ring, but this is still a form of love. Like, it might be business a little bit with Tony, but it's a form of love from a person as psychotic as Tony, where it's like, okay, you've been down in the dumps. I seen how you was acting when we went to Meadows for the college dinner. If I could get this, I can solve the sickness or whatever your problem is. Sure, it's an extreme. It's an extreme gesture. I'm getting you this house. I got you that ring. I let you steal from me. That they established later. Regardless of how you feel about the money and all of this, it's a gesture that for me is a form of love because maybe I don't know any other way to showcase that. I didn't see that growing up. That wasn't a part of my household, but this is me trying to do it. Sure, it ain't the most effective. It may not connect with you on an internal level like you wanted to, but this is that, which we'll speak to when we get to the argument. So I'm totally with y'all, man. Like I hate that. Like, just say what it is.
I would love to hear what a woman
Oh yes.
A woman's perspective on this.
Oh yes. I wish I would have got like I could have probably reached out and started getting
voice
some
note or something from somewhere. But I would have loved to hear what a woman.
I'm gonna do my best when we get to the argument to not be biased.
This is their trick bag. Yeah, this is their trick bag.
Yeah, they kill it though. Like they're getting that dub. Like,
this is their bag.
We get Tony and Chris. Chris picks up Tony, and then we get this really weird edit. I don't know if y'all noticed. It just went from like he pulled up to the crib, and then it just edit right to something else. Like it felt really weird. Like it almost felt like there was supposed to be a scene in between, and then come back, but it didn't. That's probably me just being a person that edits videos and stuff. Tony, I kind of notice stuff like that. But what should I get from this scene?
I just got to say something, man. Tony is insensitive as hell.
Oh man,
that shit funny. Just because of how he greeted Chris. I know that's how dudes joke with each other, but like Chris got a real problem, man. Chill, because he said he said Jack Lemmon, how's Lee Remick? And if you know anything about those two, like they're actors. They were in this movie together called Day of Wine and Roses. There was a movie that came out in the 60s, and the whole purpose, the plot of the movie was it followed the story of two guys that succumbed to alcoholism and like went on a downward spiral path. So for him to be his first time seeing him and calling him Jack Lemmon and asking how Lee Remick is, like, bruh, like I'm fresh out the rehab joint, bruh. Like, give me a little time before you start joking. Yeah, give me a little time before you start joking on my alcohol. Because we see later in the episode, Chris is even still affected. He looked at Adriana like, "Thanks for drinking in front of me."
No, like, I'm gonna speak to that a little bit because I got some real life scenarios like that. But Chris,
overall, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say Chris expressing how rehab worked for him, and then Tony bypasses it altogether. It says, "So you're not using junk, right?" like, bro.
I need to know the specifics, bro. I don't blame Tony for that. Like you was bullshitting with me before, my nigga. I need to be flat out with you.
Yeah, that's right.
Blunt, because next time it's happening, you may get killed. So
that's the conversation.
I really need to know that this shit, like, did it work for you, nigga? Like
that's
I think he was doing him a favor being. Like,
yeah, you're right.
He was blunt, like you said, but he could have been a lot more blunt.
Yeah, sure.
Like
that's the conversation that really needed to be had. I know they had it briefly in the hospital. If you were anybody else,
second chance on life, my nigga. Like,
yeah,
but he needed to really have him pull over the. Yeah, he told him that in the hospital before, but he was still high at that point. Like, I need you to pull a snowfall. Like, I need to pull the car over. Like, let me make sure I look at you dead in your face and let you know if this happens again, you are a dead man.
You did, and don't go talking about this shit to everybody like the apology or whatever step he said he was on. Like, nah, we're not doing it. Because that now I look like I knew this shit was going on. I was enabling you, and now you're going to apologize. No, we moving forward. I need to make sure you straight and we good. So I think he kind of took it easy on him here.
Yeah, they live in absolutely. They live in a world where we don't give passes. Don't remind people that they gave you a pass. Like, skip all that.
Christopher is supposed to be dead right now.
That's true.
You using heroin nah, bro, you out of here.
It's almost an insult. Like, if you came to me talking about I'm sorry for it, it's almost an insult. Like, now you playing in my face, bro. So you know you should have got murked.
Sure. And, go ahead.
And like you always say, you so well said, bro. We speaking in the world of Sopranos. People get second chances in life. You can get back from rehab, but we're speaking in the world of gangsters, like mobsters. Like, bro, that is a no-no. You're not doing drugs, especially heroin, and thinking that, well, I can go to rehab and come back out. It usually doesn't happen that way. Usually flowed with the fishes. But it was team.
Anyways, $3.99 a pound. We get Tony, Johnny Sack. We're gonna call it the Office Depot type place, and they're having a private conversation, and they decide after Johnny makes the point that this isn't like the Castellano hit. When they would whack Carmine, which I love how they float in and out of the real mob and in the TV show. It feels so real. But Tony says, all right, but we have to keep the 60-40 arrangement and the HUD irrigation. So I didn't understand the negotiating numbers here. Is it the same? It seemed like Tony was satisfied with what it was, but I didn't know what they were New York was wanting prior to, because I don't know. I couldn't quite put it together, and I'm not good with this part. It's kind of a little murky for me. Because Johnny was kind of looking hesitant.
Carmine, you remember when Carmine asked him for what was the number that he
said
gave
40
at the table when Seal was there? 40%?
Yeah.
And now Tony's knocking it down to what?
20? So he said 60-40. And he said, but he keeps the HUD irrigation. Well, Johnny Sack came back and said, I think the HUD stuff moving, we get 40% on this, and then the HUD stuff moving forward. I think he said you keep all of that, or I can't quite. It's hard to recollect, but I was just trying to understand where Tony was getting an advantage at. It didn't make sense to me. It just seems like the original deal, so I didn't.
I don't know if his advantage was all future construction projects are 60-40 in my favor. So that means any work that comes, we're not splitting it 50-50 anymore, which Carmine addressed when he was talking about them sharing the councilman dude.
Well, no, so hold on. Carmine and Zeller, that's the HUD thing that they're beefing about. But what they're specifically arguing about with the 40% mode is the HUD deal. They've already been doing that. That's already been in place. The HUD deal is the deal that when we met Maurice. Mm-hmm. They started doing that. Tony said, I want you use 1%. You guys get 1% of that. And that's his advantage. Like, fuck 40%, fuck 20, fuck 10. Like, you get 1% of that. And that's why Johnny was like, fuck. Like, all right, bet.
And if it ever comes up again, ain't no negotiating. It's 60-40 my way. Mm. Like any other deals that got to do with construction, which I'm sure it was a different split prior to this. Any other deal that come up, now we splitting those 60-40. So that was another advantage that he had from it, because I'm assuming that it was a 50-50 split for any construction deals that they got together.
Gotcha.
So it was the HUD deal, it was the construction deals in the future, and it was I thought it was the espionage. Yeah, it was the espionage.
Okay. So thank y'all for clearing it up, brothers, because I was just like mad confused. I was like, I couldn't put it together. I was there, but I wasn't. We get back to a car scene, Tony and Chris. Tony tells Chris that they want to whack Carmine Lupatazzi, and he needs to get this money so he can get the Whitecaps house. And Chris knows some black guys from Irvington.
Tony better than me. Ain't no way I would have trusted Chris with this. He probably was the last.
This is really This is a big ask, actually. At this, fresh out of rehab, this is a really big ask.
He would have been the last nigga on the team, probably.
Who would you ask? Who's the ideal person in his career right now?
I first would have ran it by Junior. I first would have had to see what Junior thought about it, like having a little sit down like he had, and just me and him talking as uncle and nephew. Not even on this shit, but what for the Soprano family trying to pull this off. How do you think this plays out? If I had to use scenarios and not be specific, then I may have tried to do that. But my number one person to run this by would have been Junior. If I'm looking for action on it, I'm talking to Seal.
Okay, because I'm about to say, but Junior,
Chris and Paulie, they never even know. Like, this never even comes up to them.
I would say, I'm gonna throw the ball in your court, Rich. As far as I don't. This is a moment where I don't think you don't go to Junior for counsel, because just like the Castellano hit, the less people know, the better. People they know, but they don't know. And I think this is a moment he knew, I need this financial move, and I can't talk to him for counsel. You know, it is like the Castellano hit. It would have been, but
let me give you a little pushback on that.
Okay.
The reason that I go to Junior, because he's not as involved in the day-to-day with people. I don't think that Junior talks to enough gangsters for me to be worried about who he would repeat this to. That's one. Two, I think Junior gives sound advice. You mentioned it on another episode, more like that. Like, Junior probably gives Tony the best advice when it comes to this is how you should be handling this gangster shit. Mm-hmm. And he needs this is major. Like, you killing a boss of a New York family, and you're a glorified crew, allegedly. Mm-hmm. Like, bro, this could end your whole, like, not only you, but your whole succession line. So you really need to make sure that you're doing the right thing. And the only person with enough knowledge to give me information about this is Junior.
I'm trying to remember what Junior said about Ralph or about Johnny. I feel like there was a conversation between either Johnny getting whacked or Ralph getting whacked at one point, but we don't have
it was Johnny when he got whacked, because remember, Junior told him where to go, who to do it.
Yep. Okay.
He was like, man, Carmine,
yeah, right. The old guy, the blonde gentleman.
It's a different scenario.
Okay, what was you gonna say though? I thought you wanted to chime in, or was there?
All I was gonna say was, this is something I 100% take to Sid and nobody else.
Definitely Sid.
100%. Like, there's nothing There's not one argument anybody in this world could make to me that can convince me that telling Chris was the right move.
God no.
Well, see, you're right. Only thing I would say, and again, I agree with y'all 100%. The only thing that I think is Tony is so racist. He really don't have black goons on call. He needs it. He said, I need it to look like anything but a mob hit. Now let's just say I'm with y'all. We don't go Chris. I would probably say maybe Patsy. I mean, last time we seen Patsy.
Nah, hell no.
No?
Die. Yeah, no, Patsy gonna tell. Like whoever Patsy can tell to get ahead in the game,
Patsy ain't a teller though, bro.
No, hold on. Think about this. Think about this, Mo. Think about this, Mo.
Okay.
Somebody killed one of your family members, your twin brother. Okay. You can say you forgive it, you can move on with it. But at some point, when the right opportunity comes, that information can be very useful to get back. Especially when it looks like the whole ship is sinking and I gotta save myself anyway, which could easily happen. So at some point, if I'm Tony, there's no way I'm giving that person information because he has a motive to get back at me because he knows what's up. I would never tell Patsy. Still the only person.
It's not implausible that Patsy can have a sit down with Carmine and say, hey, this is what's going on. As soon as he gets the information. And now what happens from that, Carmine has the power to take Tony and Johnny out, and Patsy gonna be the boss of New Jersey. Like, I'm sure that may not have played out that way, but I'm sure that's how Patsy looks at it. Like, I could do this and put myself in danger and be a part of the plan to kill Carmine, or I can just go to Carmine and take the easy road out and be like, look, this is what they plan.
Yeah. And I'm not even saying that Patsy
behind me, I can just come over here and be the boss of Jersey.
Yeah, I'm not even saying Patsy would do that, but it's almost like if I give somebody the safety deposit key, yeah, I might trust them, but then do I trust them when they broke? Because when they broke and they need money, you feel me?
That's a good one right there.
It's cool. It's cool when we both up. I ain't gotta worry about the box. Yeah, I know you could. You got your own bread, but now that you blew your bread and something that happened, now you got access to this. You might clean that bitch out like Ginger. Like it is what it is.
Jesus Christ!
So that's why you can't give nobody that ammunition like that.
That's funny, bro. I trust you when you broke.
That was great. I trust you when we up, and then I'm up.
Yeah, that's good.
You broke.
Y'all both made a compelling arguments. I like that. I mean, I guess it's Seal, but I don't know who Seal would put in place to, because you got to get out.
That's his job, though. I'm the number one. I'm coming to you as another. Like, this is what we're trying to get done. You figure it out without making too much noise. That's Seal's job. That's what you here for, bro. Here's the problem that we're presented with today. Yeah. I need to know about tomorrow morning how would you approach it?
Yeah, I almost feel like if you gonna because you getting Chris back acclimated, and I know Tony never left the stance of, you're gonna bring us into the 21st century. I know he hasn't left that stance. Now you clean, you sober, but this is not the throw him back into the loop thing when something this big. So I'm with y'all. I think Chris is a good call when it comes to like, hey, if we're gonna whack a captain or something, knowing that you can't put your hands on a made guy, then let's say if you wanted to whack Paulie or something. It's like, hey, I think then you say, hey, look, we're gonna get Paulie up out of here. Then you get the black dudes, whatever. But like a boss of the five families, absolutely. And man, first time back in the swing of things, I agree with y'all. So that's a great call. But yeah. So Tony and Chris, they go to Whitecaps. Chris is out there with the shirt off, just really embracing the breeze of it all.
This is white folk shit right here.
It definitely is. Shirt off is crazy.
Even just showing up like that, like, nigga, this ain't your house.
Right. So Allan shows up, and let me get this out the way. Let me get this out the way, because I'm not gonna go into some deep analysis. I've seen online through different mediums of like, oh, Allan is the corporate Tony. I've seen this before. So let me just get that out the way. We're not gonna
giving him that much respect.
I wouldn't have never, but I've seen it more than once, and I was like, all right, I'm not giving him like, oh, he's Tony on the other side of the coin. I'm not giving him that, but I get where y'all could pull that and where y'all think that, but I'm not giving that. So let me get that out the way first.
The only thing that needs to be said about Allan is he's dressed like a straight dickhead in this scene. Like, he looks like an ass. Like, look at his outfit. the ball cap with the polo with the
polo
with the
under a jacket is nuts.
Polo under the big jacket with the collar pulled up. You look like a dickhead, bro. Like you look like you told niggas no on their loan application,
bro.
Yeah, he looked like Allan Sapp. He looked like a fucking Allan.
He looked
Sapp.
like a sap.
Yeah, he does.
He just has that look, bro. I'm sorry. He looks like every white dude us black brothers have seen that they're gonna give you the fake. Well, you know what we're gonna see. We'll give you a call. Never. I'm not giving that nigga approval on his on his credit.
How he was talking to my man.
Oh man, Mr. Kim.
That came off as racist. Like
that was definitely racist.
It was really racist.
It was super racist.
I think the one thing
I'm glad that we all black and we're commenting on this because that might have went over some white people head reviewing this show. Like that was racist. That whole phone call.
It really
all
was.
Of that shit was racist. Yeah.
And money talks, man. I'm coming in with cash and I'm gonna do the shortest escrow that the state can take, man. Money talks, like that's more than anything. I think that trumped his racism. Like, bro, you can give me that bread too. Like, yeah, let's do it. Fuck it.
I do want to ask. Go ahead.
To those people that say that this is a corporate version of Tony, I highly disagree with that. But I do think Tony was impressed by this dude, though. He was thoroughly impressed by how he handled business. Mm-hmm. I don't think that makes him a version of Tony, but Tony looked like, okay, you get down.
Yeah, he got some chops. We don't like Allan. He's definitely not to mention a scumbag, but he got some chops. His tactic was decent. Like he had a decent little. Former seasons of Sopranos would have made him. I ain't gonna say they would have made him, but he could have been a possible through line villain for a few episodes. I'm glad they did it here in this short span.
No, I couldn't have took him more than one episode. I ain't gonna hold you.
You're
right. I'm not saying
you know what I mean. Like they would have did a 3. Think about Davey.
A good adversary. Yeah.
You think about a Davies Casino. Like you think about that. It's like, oh, he ain't that far from
irritated. Yeah,
he would definitely been irritated.
Soul.
Yeah. He just has that. He up there with Hesh. When we talk about the punchable face, he's up there with Hesh.
Good one. Really good one.
People probably still like, well, I don't understand why they don't like Hesh. Yeah, keep watching. But my question I wanted to ask before we move on, because I know I don't want to be too long on this episode, but can Allan actually deposit the amount of cash if Tony brings it? Because that's what do you say, like 200 grand? What
200K?
Can he deposit it?
Yeah, it's like
a wire.
He probably got his own.
When he says cash, he don't mean like actual cash bills. It means I have access to the money. So if you're talking about that amount, you're talking about that amount for a home. What's most likely it's going to be is a cashier's check or a wire transfer. Tony ain't bringing him a bag of $200,000.
Okay.
Yeah, he wouldn't even want that probably. I'm sure.
No, he wouldn't.
Unless he wanted to, for taxes and shit like that. But
yeah, he would.
Yeah, because the banks, most accounts. Yeah, most standard accounts they only insure up to $250K anyway. So he'll probably take that and put that in different accounts and different investments and stuff like that.
Bro.
That 200 ain't gonna be liquid too long.
Right. Gotcha. All that means is I'm sending you $200K. I'm still sending it. It ain't cash money, but I'm letting you know that I do have that much money liquid on hand, and I can give it to you tomorrow.
I got access.
I ain't got to go through no bank. I ain't got to sell nothing. It ain't tied into another house. It means I can get you 200 cash tomorrow through a wire transfer.
Bro, I'm sorry, and we're moving on. This man has on a brown blazer, a tan blazer, a blue polo. The collars is up, not even folded down. A black, white, and orange hat, blue jeans, and some sneakers on.
He looks like a public defender, bro.
Bro, definitely public defender vibes. And even crazier is like these be the type of white dudes that be having a bag for real. They don't know how to dress. They don't know how to pick. They don't have musical taste like that. They go by, oh yeah, this is the latest thing. Yeah, they told me.
You heard the new Drake,
bro. The new Drake. You heard that? The new Drake, Marvin's Room. Like
that's the type of. You know what's funny? You said that. That's the type of dude. If this is present day, that's the type of dude that might not even know who Drake is. Like who? I heard the name maybe, but I'm not familiar with the songs.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
It's impossible to think about people outside of that world, but he looks like he lives in a world where. I don't even know Drake. What? Like I've heard the name, but I'm not sure what the guy.
I want to ask a question, but I don't want to get us too far off track. I don't. I know we on a time frame here.
All
Do you
right.
think there's people out there that don't know who Drake is?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
There's people that don't know who Taylor Swift. There's people that don't know who Taylor Swift is.
You got to be disconnected from any kind of youth. There are people out there that just
that's what I'm saying, bro. Like if you're not on social media, that's number
I think
one.
about myself. There's so many hot rappers right now that like high school kids and early 20 kids are listening to that I have no idea who they are.
You're right. You're absolutely right about that.
Or pop stars
like
too.
A mega star though. Like Taylor Swift, y'all name two. Like, how could you not know who they are?
Bro,
like we're talking about Taylor Swift ruling the NFL airwaves over the last 4 or 5
if I didn't have a daughter, I wouldn't even.
I don't see how it's possible that people don't know who her or Drake would be.
It's possible. Like, bro, if I didn't have a daughter, I probably wouldn't know who Billie Eilish was.
But that's more palatable to me than Drake or Taylor Swift. I feel like everybody in the world knows who Drake, Taylor Swift, and Beyonce are.
Bro, I don't even know what's going on.
Those are three names.
I don't even know what's going on in the news.
That's acceptable. I get what you're saying, but some kind of way or another, if you are a human being existing on this earth, you know who Drake, Taylor Swift, and Beyonce are.
I say USA. I wouldn't.
I concede that. I'll concede that.
I'll say USA. I would not say
I'd say the earth, bro. The earth.
You thinking wrong,
Beyonce?
Bro. There's people that don't have cable, bro. Like there's people on the other side of the world living totally different.
They knew who Michael Jackson was, though.
I was
is
just
Drake
about to say
Drake
that,
touring over there?
It's people that never watched an NBA game that know
Drake
who
touring
Michael
in
Jordan
Africa.
Is
Drake touring in Asia? Is Drake touring in
the internet helped? The internet is a big.
But I'm just saying
that's what
I ain't saying y'all wrong. I'm just saying it's crazy to think that.
I don't think it's crazy. I just think it's a different.
I think it's crazy to think that is the wrong way to phrase it. It's wild for me to wrap my head around and think that there's people out there that may not know who those people are.
Like I said,
that's true.
The geographic for that, older people with no access to youth. Like the youngest people that they talk to today are in their 50s. I'm talking about people who 75, 76, 77. I don't talk to anybody younger than 50. Like those type of people probably don't. They probably not even. They still ask for newspaper delivery.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like those type people.
Maybe
that's a good thing for the good earner crowd to comment on. Like, leave us some reviews. Leave in the notes what y'all think.
What y'all think about Allan?
Don't actually know who
Allan Sapp.
First of all, what y'all think about Allan? But do people know who Drake, Taylor Swift, and Beyonce are? I think those are three most famous people in the world.
I could easily
musicians.
I think period. Other than Trump, like those are the only three others. Like Trump,
bro. I think it's so skewed, bro. I think there's a whole nother like. Anyway, I can't even go into it, but like I think it's more than like I used to think like that too, but I think it's skewed because of what we draw attention to, and as Black people. But
we can move on. I ain't mean to take it there. I just
you good. So we go back. So we get I think Carmella gets a phone call, and now we're back at Whitecaps, but now we got the whole family there. AJ comes out, and we see some real emotion.
Balled up and shit. Hey,
I was gonna say real quick though, like man, come on, bro. The job that they did of making sure that Carmella irritated the shit out of real niggas this episode, bro. It's the middle of the day, bro. You curled up in the bed, fully clothed. Like, what we doing?
I mean,
like, all real niggas know this, or just men in general that have been in a relationship. This is the worst. Like when your girl is acting like this, you really don't know if anything is wrong, but nothing. It seems like something is wrong, but she ain't telling you nothing wrong and trying to get you to figure out, this is the worst place to be.
You suck the air out of the room.
Like, bro, what am I supposed to do? Like, what do you want me to do? What do you need from me? And then she's, I'm okay. It's nothing.
But then I'm insensitive when I don't try to figure out.
When you be like, oh, okay, fuck it. You said it was good.
No, you can't.
You told me it was good.
Bro, you can't win. I swear.
What we doing?
I swear you can't win. But her bounce back when they pulled up to Whitecaps, I was like, oh, see.
She had a bop. She had a little bop back there.
She had the bop, kind of had the fit going. I was like, oh, Carmella kind of got the little swing going. Like, what's up? Like,
she had a little bop. Yeah, she smiled at AJ.
Smiling a little bit. The hair was did up a little bit, embracing the short. Like that.
Forgot about Furio for a minute.
Definitely was starting to forget because money makes her forget about Furio, bro. Which is why she stayed. But then we get an adorable moment that Meadow pulls up and Finn pulls up, and we get another House Hunters clip right here of them looking at the crib, and
the way they ease Finn into this is brilliant.
Brilliant.
Like the just very small doses of him until we need
until we get the big reveal.
This was brilliant, bro.
It is, but that's how it really be though. Once you meet them the first time, like especially college, you meet them, it's like, okay, this is my girl, is how we rocking. It's not a question anymore when I bring them around again at that young age. You know what I mean? It ain't no big deal. It's like, oh, I'm bringing Finn, and you just got to roll with it. Like, oh, okay, we got to start embracing it as parents or parent. You know what I'm saying? So, but Tony, Tony says, y'all will inherit this. Tony's on a different place when it comes to stuff like this. Tony doesn't feel like the average human civilian feels things, but it has to make sense to him from like a business, a significant feeling, and that's what registered for him. It's like, this is out of my ballpark range for real. I don't got it like that. I'm waiting on some plays to happen to whack a boss of the 5 families so I can make this happen. I really don't even want, because all of this is still like, I need to make Carmella feel better. But this is the most extreme he's went so far on the series. But in order for me to stay consistent and push through, if nothing else, I can give this to my kids. I feel like that's a part of his thinking.
You think it was to make Carmella feel better or stroke his ego?
I think it's to make Carmella feel better, because I feel like we don't know how much. We always talk about the timeline. We don't know the timeline between Meadows' dinner in the dorm, not the dorm, but in the apartment, and to now. So I imagine my guess is probably 3-4 weeks. Carmella been in the dumps to enough to say she needs to go to the doctor. You know what I mean? And that takes so at least 2 weeks or more. So yeah. Anything y'all want to add? What's up?
Did you think the kiss on the beach between Carmella and Tony was awkward? Or was that?
Let me see. I'm looking at it now. Let me see. He grabs her up. She got the.
It looked kind of strange. Yeah, like it looked like we know we're supposed to be doing this, but we really don't feel like we need to be doing this.
Tony, it wasn't strange. For her, it was, but what I think was happening. Here's what it is, and we'll keep moving.
Excuse me.
What it is when you and your girl been arguing, right? You've already moved on. Like, we move on fairly quickly because we got things to do as a couple. We not just hang out, but we pay bills. We do things together. We need to function in this thing. She's kind of already moved on, but she's holding a stance still just because she's trying to make a point. But she really ain't tripping like that. And you really impressed her. You might have threw a meal together. I might have ran some bath water. You did something that kind of broke the ice a little bit. And so now she's like, okay, but I'm still mad at you, kind of like deal. But she's working through it. And the kiss was like Carmella kind of working through it. I think she's still thinking about Fury or whatever, but she's working through, like, Tony. It kind of brought her back to like, oh, this is why I love Tony, because of he was my guy, as she talks about later, but look at what he could do for me. He's always managed to do these things for me, and I've always been okay with that. I think Furio comes along and it triggers more of independency for her because of how he getting it, or a part of it. But I think it's just her working through that. I'm still mad at you, but we're getting there. And Tony, he was never on that spot. He trying to be romantic. He's all in. He knows this is a part of this will keep him grounded.
That's good. You're right.
What say you, Rich? Anything you want to add to
that? Nah. I think
you think that tracks though, like that. Like, I'm mad at you, but we kind of working through it. And you kind of got her. You got her for real. Like, you really can't still be mad. I got you. Like,
yeah, no, 100% tracks, especially given the personality. Like, it's inevitable, man. They're both very petty individuals.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And I always wonder, like, at what point relationships turn. I feel like if you don't reel in that part in relationships, then they could just go off the rails. So you could be stuck with somebody that you really don't like, and you just trying to find your happiness in areas you can. Mm-hmm. So you don't really fuck with them. So
and that was, remember, the Nigerian therapist gave that to Carmella. Like, that was what you're saying. Like, he was like pretty much like,
was he a priest or a therapist?
Oh, I think he was a priest. You're right, but it was like a therapy session with the priest because it moved past the confession.
We sure he was Nigerian? My nigga just gave him.
That is a great question.
Bro, I think I had that in the notes. I think I got a clue for what that is, but I would have to go back to my notes.
That was good.
I didn't pull that from nowhere. I swear, I know that.
God,
I know.
Damn, that was good.
He was Wakandan.
African,
he's the moon.
Say it with your chest, nigga. Say it right the first time.
Say what you mean the first time, right?
African, yeah.
Nah, I definitely.
Shit,
that's
man.
funny, but no, that's good. That's really good. Did we
Nah,
know
because
that?
even it's even funnier if you know Nigerians, because he definitely don't come off like a Nigerian.
Oh, less aggressive. He was a lot more passive and
not even less aggressive, like less arrogant.
Wait, I ain't about to go there, bro. I don't
know how far y'all want to get into it. But
shouts out to our Nigerian listeners. If we got them that don't comment, y'all enlighten us for sure.
Nigerian brothers is different, thing.
Yeah, I hear that. Tony, I don't know. I said Tony. So Chris.
Rich know what I'm talking about. That's why.
Hey, listen. I'm shutting up, bro. I'm shutting up.
Hey,
this whole podcast can go a whole different way.
There's a lot of things I can say right now that I'm not.
Exactly, Mo. Exactly.
I could have talked about them, but I didn't.
The whole diaspora as a whole, like that's a whole another conversation.
They are
different. Christopher,
it's so hard not to say.
I got you.
And that's being polite. That's being polite, bro.
Straight up. All due respect. Christopher meets with his former H dealers for a hit on Carmine. Ironically,
what was these niggas at when he got robbed?
No, this ain't the same street. He went to a whole different block.
But I'm just saying, like, you couldn't even go ahead. My bad.
Well, you know how it is with a weed man when they ain't, if you've had a weed man that ain't got it, they just don't all of a sudden they can't communicate all of a sudden. Like, nigga, I'm hitting you up like I ain't hit you 2 times. Like, bro, I'm trying to get such and such. And all of a sudden you just quiet out here. Like no response, no nothing. Like, all right, cool. And then you pull up, hey, yo,
these niggas know the nigga that robbed Chris.
Nah.
They 100%. The Jersey
they may know of them,
the
but
niggas that robbed him.
They probably do, but it ain't
homies or nothing, but they know who the niggas that robbed.
I mean, of course. I mean, it's a street dudes. Like we all hustle. This is our block, that's our block. Of course. Like it's the Hispanic dudes. But ironically enough, one of the brothers here is Curtis Cook, who plays was it Douda on The Chi, which I used to watch that show. I think it's Douda. But for those that watch The Chi, I think Showtime. It's the one that speaks the most. With the I think you got the hat
the visor on upside down.
The visor, the classic 2000.
My only comment on this whole scene is that I love looking back on fashion from our era.
Mm-hmm.
When I say art, I guess mainly me and Spike's era when we was outside.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's they say fashion repeats itself.
Mm-hmm.
That this era will never come back.
No.
It will never come back. It's disgusting. My man got the visor upside down backwards. My other dude got the headband on like he about to go to the courts.
Mm-hmm.
Like we used to wear this shit on a regular. And we used to pull chicks. We used to pull chicks with this shit.
No, that was a part of it.
Oh, we was fresh. You throw the Nike headband on, nigga, with some forces, like, bro, big ass shorts.
Absolutely.
Big ass shirt.
Fake ass chain. Like,
all that.
Bro,
That's the kit. There. That's the kit right there.
The whole kit.
Player kit.
Absolutely, bro. That'll never come back.
Never come back, bro. That's why I told you with your boys and them over there. I told them like they told me, I said, hey, get your pants wider. Ain't happening, bro. You can keep it.
That has came back though.
I'm still not doing it.
Big clothes won't ever come back, but the wide leg, like stacked, I think they call it stacked jeans.
Yeah, ain't happening.
That's definitely.
That's why your boy had them Jinko jeans on in that interview. Jonathan Majors, man. Jonathan Majors when he had them damn Jinko jeans on with
that checks. That's his swag though. Like he really be on that weird.
That's when I knew, like, oh man,
he different.
He different.
Not everybody's a nigga. Like Ray P say, not everybody's a nigga's nigga.
He is different.
This sounds so
Jonathan Majors is a different dude.
People don't even know what that means.
Shout out to Ray P.
What do you guys?
Shout out to Ray P. That's a dope ass line right there, Ray P. Like everybody ain't a nigga's nigga.
Crazy. Everybody ain't a white's white. You know what I mean?
Hey man, listen. Tony talked about this when
Italian's Italian.
He called him the white bread.
He called him Wonder Bread, so Wonder Wop.
There's a name that he used specifically, but it's some real shit.
Yeah, no, he's real. Yeah, when y'all go back to season 1, I think it's Boca when he was playing golf with Cusimano and the other white men, and he was, you know, there's a difference in those Italians there, like our type of Italians and those type of Italians. That's what we mean when we say niggas nigga. So y'all know exactly what we mean. But anyway,
real quick before you move to the next scene, I just got to throw this in there for those. I know you two haven't necessarily watched it, but anybody who's watched Sons of Anarchy, which reminds me of a scene in season 1 when they were trying to frame a murder on some black people. This nigga Clay said one of the funniest lines of TV history. He told, "Make a ghetto, make a gangster." But that was his instructions for the kid. Make sure it looked like niggas did this.
Yeah.
They use the automatic weapons and all that shit. That shit had me weak. Make it ghetto, make it gangster. So Chris going to get these dudes the money. That shit from like
not too long ago. That's
funny.
Make it ghetto, make it gangster. Shirts coming soon.
That's a wonderful shirt.
Make it ghetto, make it gangster.
Make it ghetto, make it gangster.
Y'all love leaning into them joints.
I love nigga shit.
Yeah, I know. I love these brothers. You need people like me to keep us on.
Goodness
gracious. And I'm the darkest one. That's what makes me funny.
I ain't never gonna let you down on is the nigga shit. Like you always gonna get.
Oh yeah, no doubt. We get I got a lot of notes here, so it's an extended scene. But we get to the Sopranos household. Classic 2000s line. AJ picks up the phone.
It's one of the biggest scenes in Soprano history.
Yes, home of the burger. What's your beef? That's a classic. Like it feels very 2000s.
Never heard of anybody say this outside of AJ Soprano.
Nah, I ain't heard that, but I've heard versions of like you kind of have a
like little catchphrases.
Yeah, little catchphrases to kind of be like just sound cool, whatever.
Before, yeah.
Irina calls.
Say Waffle House, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and Irina calls and she tells Carm that she slept. He slept with.
I used to fuck your husband.
That part.
I
mean,
before we get there though,
you talking about AJ picking up and talking with her?
Yes, nigga.
You should have finessed
like,
that.
Bro, hold me down a little bit.
You should finesse that.
Like, hang up or something. Like, bro, like, what did? I don't know who it is, mom. Like, come on. Like, I know it's high expectations to have of a teenage son who ain't really tapped in, but still, you gotta think that the nigga would be like, something strange going on here. You know what? Call back later. Call back when whoever
bro,
you
I'm
talk
sorry.
to. Like, I ain't gonna just let you talk to my mom, bro.
Come on, Spike. Like this nigga just picked up the phone like he don't even know. Like, come on, bro.
But she was being weird when he answered the phone.
But what that guy, bro, I'm a teenager, bro. He's thinking about his girlfriend. He trying to get, he trying to get his joint cop. Bro, I don't care who's calling. Like, oh, you want to speak? Oh, this is Sopranos. Yeah, can I speak to? Oh, okay, cool. Bro, you're not thinking about like responsibility of like, yo, let me hold my pops down. Like, come on, bro.
Man,
I will say this. I would be thinking about that. However, it fits for AJ. Here's the one thing, and Mo, what you're saying is absolutely true. Here's the one thing, the difference between me and AJ. As soon as she said the line, "the handsome son," who the fuck is this on the phone?
Who is this?
With the accent. I might not even know my pops is cheating, but something don't add up. It's just one of those things when 1 + 1 don't equal 2, something don't seem right. You talking about the handsome son? Is your mom there? I might not speak to nobody with the accent. I don't know.
I might have been trying to talk like, who is this? I would have probably tried to finesse it. That would have been me.
Even that would have been cool.
I'd be like, so who is this?
Even if you try to finesse it, bro, you're getting more into the. I ain't gonna put this bitch on the phone with my mama. Like, even at the end of the day, if I'm not trying to protect my dad, I still am trying to. Like, as a son, we all are sons here. Mm-hmm. I'm still trying to protect my moms, though. Like, who is this crazy bitch calling on the phone for my mom? Like,
what's the classic?
You're putting so much stake on that. It's a stranger. I don't know who this person is.
But what's the classic line back in the day? Can I tell her who's calling?
Exactly.
You gotta tell me who this is before I get my mom on the phone.
Who is this?
All right, I'll give y'all that. That right there, sure. Who is this? May I ask who's calling? Yes, that absolutely. But like, I don't know my mama's friends like that. I don't know who she knows all the way through. I know a few of them, but I think y'all just the understanding and foresight that we have in the maturation of who we are now. You have to go back to a place. Okay, we had some intelligence, we had some understanding, but you got to go back to a place of teenage where it's like, bro, I'm thinking about hooping right now. I'm thinking about I'm not thinking about who's calling, bro. Like, y'all put so much.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mo. I hear what you're saying. I'm sorry. I gotta put. Here's the thing.
These niggas
This is
are
a
smart
different
all
type.
their life. These niggas
no,
for
Mo.
all of our life.
Listen, hear me. Hear me out, Mo. Hear me out. And here's what we lose with it being 2024. Technology has changed.
Yeah.
Answering house phones, it was a routine and a rhythm.
Okay.
Most people who called your house who weren't your friend, anybody my mom or my pops knew, when they answered the phone, I knew it was them.
They knew me.
If I didn't know who they were, there's a certain way people answer. If I say hello, most people say, "Hey, is Mr. and Mrs. Richardson home?" It's
Who's
such and
calling?
such. This is such and such from the. Yes, they would be. It's more. That's how you did. That's how business was conducted. Only time people wouldn't do that was on like prank calls. Now you know who it is, so you lose that etiquette of saying who it is. But that's 100% back in those days. That's how that was done. Mm-hmm. My thing was that something just don't add up. As soon as I answer, you say Tony. Nah, this ain't Tony. Like, who is this? Like, oh, this is you still ain't saying. It just feels off. I'm going off this distinct feeling that something is off. This isn't like the 99 other phone calls that I've answered in this house. This just seems weird. Mm-hmm. Those antennas raising up is what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying you got to be smart and trying to protect your pops and things. I just know that this phone call ain't like the thousands of others that I've taken in this house.
That's it. And to add on to Rich's point, as a person who has answered house phone calls, when you take that phone to your mama, you better have an answer to the questions when she be like, okay, who is that?
Who did they ask for? I couldn't tell. I couldn't be like, I don't know. What you mean you don't know?
Like your mom ain't gonna be like if you walk in that room and you've been talking on the phone to your homeboys, your little girlfriend or whatever, and somebody called to click in and they be like, oh well, let me speak to whatever your mom's name is. You can't just go take her the phone, bro. It do not happen like that. As a nigga that has answered house phones, it's who is this? What do you want? You ain't got to get deep into the details, but when you go tell her and you like, hey, mom, on the phone for you, she gonna ask you off top, who is that? What do they want? Oh, you don't know? Like what the fuck you talking? That's what I had you for as a son. Like you need to be able to figure that shit out and be smart enough to know, like, is this a phone call that I need to take or not? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, this still the era people avoiding bill collectors and all that. Like people were very conscious of who was on the phone.
This might be somebody calling asking me for money. This might be some weird ass family member that we don't talk to. And you just giving me the phone? Like, nah,
yeah, bro. Ain't no potential spam coming up on the phone.
Yeah, ain't none of that happening. I'm watching my stories right now. Why are you interrupting me with some bullshit? Like, I've been through this exact scenario. And again, like Rich said, he said it so eloquently, like, I ain't necessarily trying to protect my dad, but I do know there's a conversation to be had when I take the phone to my parent and I don't know who it is. I ain't know like what AJ did. I don't know. Like, bro, what?
Yeah, I knew better. I knew better as a kid.
I raised you better than that. Mm-hmm. I raised you better than that to be asked, like, not to be asking no questions.
Well said.
You weren't raised like that, Mo?
I mean, of course, we're black. It's different. Like, I'm just speaking, trying to understand outside of the black experience. I can see this, especially with a person like AJ.
That's what this show for.
I do want to reiterate. I do want to reiterate everything I said, and I made the caveat earlier. That's based off me personally. Everything here is 100% on brand for AJ Soprano.
It can't.
So I'm not mad at
AJ Soprano. This works.
Yeah,
this works for AJ. It's not.
100%. He's the person that said like Jackie's like dead. Or whatever.
Yeah, this 1,000,000% works for AJ Soprano in this story. We're just speaking about our perspective as black men.
I like how we were
raised.
This
works in the Sopranos world. You're right. I'm not arguing against this. It was well written. All of that shit's good. He shouldn't have been able to save the day for his dad. I would have looked at this with a raised eyebrow if that had happened and AJ was the one to shortstop it. I want to say that. But however, what we're telling y'all, the reason y'all tune into this podcast from a black perspective, never happen. Never happens because you ain't even getting on the phone with my mom's, bro. If I don't know who you are.
Yeah, for sure. I was laughing because as we continue to sing, Tony's driving. He's pulling up to the crib. It's just another moment.
He ran over them golf clubs,
this man ran over. I bet he ran over golf balls. Like, whoa, what the? Ain't no speed bumps in my driveway. Like, so
It was weird he had that many golf balls in his bag because you don't.
That was
if
a
you
lot
good at
of
golf
balls, bro.
If you good at golf, you don't need that many golf balls. But running over the clubs hurt me.
Yeah, so she got the windows open. I didn't realize their room was above the garage. I guess I thought it was on the other side of the house, but I guess that's where the kids was. But Tony walks in, and she's throwing.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry. No comment on Irina at all.
Oh, I mean, Irina was out of pocket, but again,
no. I'm not talking about her and what she's doing. I'm talking about her appearance, bro.
I'm surprised. Yeah, I hated it.
I'm not really attracted to Irina. I'm not really attracted to Irina.
You ain't got to be attracted to Irina for that body.
I mean, the stomach was beautiful. Like the cuts.
The only thing.
What else was it?
Whole body.
You see it.
Body was serving tea, as the kids
serving
say
tea,
nowadays.
Okay.
Yeah, body was serving tea.
No, I will say, never mind. I can't even go in there because no more kinks. I can't get no more of these mo kinks. Y'all got to go Patreon for the kinks.
We ain't interested in the mo
because I feel like people are already probably looking at me weird all the time. Like, oh, here we go.
Mo kinks is crazy.
Mo kinks shirts coming soon.
That's another shirt for you.
I know I'm not alone though. I swear I'm not alone.
Nah, you definitely ain't alone, man. There's a lot of
it ain't that wild for real. But yeah, what was there something else you were alluding to other than the look, Rich?
No, that was it. I just know that you always like to point that out.
Like that in the middle of the day.
Yeah, she was sick, and then Carmella holding her stomach once again, physically sick after that phone call. My goodness, that's a lot.
Yeah, but we'll get there. We're gonna get. Yeah,
you brought that shit to the crib. Come on,
nitty gritty.
You got me fucked up.
I know. Here's where we're gonna go. I'm trying to move this thing along as far as the scenes. So Tony comes home. He runs over the golf clubs. And he's like, man,
no, wait. Her face, Carmella face in reaction to "I used to fuck your husband" was classic. It goes to what Rich was talking about with the acting in this episode. Not a word had to be said. We understood from her grabbing her stomach and the look on her face. From hearing that expression, it's like, this is the day that I've been dreading for the majority of my life. It was perfect by Edie Falco.
Which was just great Edie Falco. Like all of this that we're going to talk about, great acting from Edie Falco and the late great James Gandolfini. Great acting. We're just talking about the actual character in this scenario. So just understand where we're coming from. No slight on the acting.
No judgment against.
Yeah.
Edie Falco,
no judgment.
We're talking about Carmella.
Yes,
we're talking about Carmella.
We're talking about Carmella. Tony pulls up and she's throwing stuff. She throws some shoes at him. Then he comes upstairs and she closes the door. He's all confused. It's very realistic. It's like, bro, what? Like last time we were kissing, you know what I mean? Like we were kissing on the water. We was
just on the beach. We just
we on a good place. And I mean, who hasn't been there? Where it's like, bro, we was just good a moment ago. Now all of a sudden, something was revealed or something said. Now you mad at me. I don't even know what you're mad at.
Song pulling into the driveway, he whistling this shit.
Bro, that's what made me laugh because he pulled up the golf clubs like, whoa, what was that? You know, and Tony pulls up to the door in the house and he does the breathing technique, which this is what I talked about in our very first season of reviewing this. Where I talk about this is something I directly took from this show. It's just like how he calmed himself down breathing. So she's so pissed, but what she is pissed about is skewed to me because nothing happened with Furio. Like, but anyway, I'll get back to that in a moment.
No. Wait. That went over my head.
Okay, so she's getting on. He finally gets in the room, and he's talking about. She talks about Irina calling. And saying, oh, you know, she's going into this whole spiel about Irina. He's like, I told you she's certifiable. Like, she's crazy. I told you this, you know, which part of it's true, but and he's like, I hadn't seen her in a while. And she's so pissed about the fact that she called, which I get that, no doubt. But she's so pissed about her calling, like, you're looking at this like, see, and I could have, it just felt like to be like, oh, and I could have gave Furio some, or I could have got with Furio, but I didn't, you know what I mean? And it's like, you're so pissed about, but you knew this,
we ain't got there yet though.
Okay.
She ain't even got to that point of mad yet though.
Okay.
She just to the point of mad, not to as to where I could have did this, like as men, I feel like we may have all have been here. Like she ain't to the point of I could have did this. She just to the point of you did this and it pissed me off.
Okay.
Which is very relevant to the situation. Like she's not trying to justify any feelings that she had for Furio. All she's trying to understand at this point is like, why did you have this bitch calling my house? How are you not able to control this?
That's what it comes down to.
Even if I know these things are happening, even if I put the fingernail on the nightstand, how are you letting this shit spill over into our everyday life? You supposed to be better than that. And I think that's where most women get pissed off at. Like, yeah, I know men are men and you're going to do what you're going to do. Hopefully you don't cheat. However, if you do, nigga, don't go have a side baby on me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't be fucking bitches raw. Don't have bitches calling my house. Don't embarrass me. I think that's the biggest thing for most women. And with this, with AJ answering the phone, this is the most embarrassing situation that she could be in.
Mm-hmm.
My son, like she's suspecting my son now knows you've been playing me like a poo put out here in these streets.
Well, she was
like,
okay with.
This the end. No. She wasn't okay with it. Like I want to be perceived as Carmelo Soprano, the queen of the throne.
Well,
not some bitches getting fucked on and you going out with Gumas, even though that's happening. I don't want that to be the perception. The perception that I want it to be is I'm holding it down. I'm your queen. I'm this, I'm that, and the third.
Oh, no,
that was all erased when she got the phone call.
No, I don't think so. I think that she knew that so she's around the other other mob wives and understood that this is a part of the life. Even talking to Ro about it, like very openly about like I'm even okay with it. Even when she comes back later in the scenes, like I would have been okay with it. I think her gripe, I think part of what you're saying as far as like the AJ thing, that's embarrassing. But what it is like, okay, it's one thing for me. She already talked to Father Phil season 1. Like I know I looked at it as kind of helping me out. Like if he's going out there, she's been okay with the Gumar thing, but what changes is when it's like she's always been okay with it, but when it becomes real, as far as now it's in my face, because there's a moment here when she talks about the fingernail and Tony wanted to say, but that wasn't even Svetlana, but he knew, nigga, if I say it's Gloria Trillo, the same woman that drove you home, oh my gosh, bro, he would have been.
That wasn't Glorious.
Yeah, it wasn't even Gloria. It was just the bitch from Ralphie.
Yeah, well, okay, all right, you're right. It was Valentina. I'm tripping. It was Valentina. But it's still like it was another can of worms. Like that's why he just let it kind of, you know what? he's so
but that's why this all of this was so brilliant, because that's what we do as men.
Yeah.
We all would have seen that fingernail there, and if she had not said nothing, we wouldn't have either. Damn, bro, like, did she see this? Like, it would have been in the back of our head like that. Like, what? How did this get right here?
Mm-hmm.
And it never actually came to fruition, but yeah.
The way that Edie Falco is bouncing in and out of emotions is just, it's so realistic, bro. Like, you think you're in the bedroom you think you're watching this, you're in the bedroom of a couple, in like a married couple, and not actually watching TV. Like you feel like you're in there, like you're a fly on the wall, a hidden camera on a reality show, watching them to go at it about things. Because Tony rebutted, he said, at least I didn't steal from you. And then that's when she came back with the nail comment. And which is finally like, okay, they both have
evil
been
and manipulative.
Yeah.
And evil. I think I as a man took that differently from like how it should have been perceived, I think.
Okay, how did you take it?
Because, bitch, that ain't got nothing to do with you stealing all this money from me. Like, bitch.
When he leaves with that, it's the most funniest response coming after it. Every time.
Like, what are we talking about here? Like, yeah, we talking about this, but you stole money from me literally, and you trying to play this shit off. And not even that you stole it and you got away with it. You were so ice cold and lying about it. That's what would have scared the shit out of me as a nigga. Like, bro, like, I know you stole that money.
After
let me just jump in real quick. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me just jump in. This reminds me of the conversation that we all had about that whole scenario. And Mo felt a certain way, and me and Spike felt one way. This is a perfect example of what I meant. The fact that she stole it like that. That's even though Tony knew, he doesn't know. So when he says that she can keep a lie up like that on some, like, you sound demented. Look at you. You sound crazy. Money from the bird feeder. Like, that's what pisses me off even more. Because now I know you did it, but you ain't even holding up to it.
Nigga, I would have been, y'all could have put me in a mental asylum after that. I would have went off the deep end after. Like, bitch, I know you got that money. Like, it ain't. Hey, why are you even trying to play with me right now?
He crazy,
like, boy. I would have went insane right there, bro.
Shout out to Carmella for being smart about that, because that would make you go crazy.
She did her thing right there. Like to even act like I don't know what you're talking about. Listen to you, you sound crazy.
You sound. Yeah, flip it, gaslight him. Like, oh,
bro. And then she flipped it and said, he's like, I didn't. And even like how Tony is doing, like. Any other mob guy, we've seen Ralphie put his hands on a woman here. We've seen Seal put his hands on a woman. We've seen Christopher put his hands on a woman. This is where they have done such a great job with the Tony Soprano character, because they still have him like, we can hate him or we can love him still right here, because there's this moment you notice Tony's blinking and he's kind of like breathing. He's like, I didn't do it. And she's like, I found it. I found the fingernail. I put it there. And like I said before, like Tony like wanted to say, like, what was the line? Yeah. What was it? Martin had a line. I think I can't remember what it was, but Martin was like, if I was cheating, don't you think I would have?
Like, I would have took him over to Tommy's.
And then he was like, I immediately why did I say that?
The Miss Trinidad episode. Like, if I was going to cheat on you, I would take a woman to Tommy's.
And then he was like, oh, like immediately. So this was like a moment where he
to play now.
Yeah, so immediately he knew, it's like, oh, I can't say that this was Valentina, because now it's like, oh, this is not the chick I cheated with. It was this one.
This was a random one night thing. Like,
so he couldn't even
fucking like that. Like, you can't even get into it.
But you know how it is, like, when you're in an argument, you in the trenches, and you know it's like you can make a point to just say like you wrong here, but
it's gonna make you look worse.
Yes,
it's gonna make you look worse.
Yeah, so you gotta hold it.
You can make a point to debunk it, but it's gonna make you look so bad.
So you gotta hold.
You can't even do it.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta go through that. Like, you be like, oh, bitch, I could say something right now. I can say something right now and kill all of that. Yeah. But it'll make me look like a complete dirtbag. So I'm gonna hold back.
You gotta hold that. You gotta hold it, boy. Like, don't play, because you know they be like, oh yeah. Now the argument they'll shift to a new direction.
Now it'll turn to a whole, like, women are brilliant in that sense. When it come to arguments, really? Like,
dang, why'd I do that? See, I knew I shouldn't have been this dang honest.
Why did I even say that?
Why did I even say that? Well, I wish the Lord would take me now.
Question for you guys. Is it crazy that she wasn't mad at, what's the chick name to call?
Irina.
She wasn't really that mad about the relationship with Irina.
Nah, it's
but
about
Carmella, what sent her over the top was, you fucking a bitch with one leg? Like, you really out here? And this goes back to what women always say, don't embarrass me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you really out here fucking a crippled bitch? Sorry for the people that listen to this and I offended. But like, you really out here fucking a crippled bitch over me? Like, bro, what is going on? Like, do y'all feel where she was coming from with that?
Listen, I'm going to say this.
This is not the point where he said, I have something to say. This is not that point yet, is it? No, this ain't the point. Okay, that was later after the pool. Okay.
This is one of those, I love moments like this, because in the politically correct world that we live in, people are conditioned to say everything that's, I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to say anything too crazy. But I refuse to believe anybody not being upset, or there wouldn't be a certain level of anger and disappointment, embarrassment, whatever word you want to call it, if you found out, and it doesn't even have to be anybody with a handicap. Just if you find out somebody, if I had a girl and she was cheating with a lame nigga, somebody I thought was a lame nigga, that would be in that fight. Yeah, like, you just fucking with a lame nigga. But the fact, like, if I got,
It
Yeah,
ain't even got no disability. Like, you cheating on me with a white dude? Like, bro.
Yeah,
what?
but you tell me right now, I don't care. I'm the most utmost understanding. Like, shout out to everybody living, like live and let live type person. But if I find out my wife is cheating and she's cheating on a nigga in a wheelchair, you know how like so sick I'm gonna be. Like, you know how much therapy that's gonna take for me to try to figure this shit out. Like, I'm on some real shit.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to be on some real shit. Like I would be so confused.
It's
like,
funny because it's real though.
No, it's real.
Like, what the fuck?
Damn,
like,
why am I?
I'm questioning shit. Like
the male ego wouldn't even be able to take what Carmella took right there.
That's true.
Like you said, like if us as men, if our woman was like, "Oh, I fucked a nigga with one leg," you gonna be like, "What, bitch?"
My mind is automatically, what the fuck did he say to you to game you like that? Like, how did he even get you? Like, I'm going all the way there. So it's definitely a mental thing where I'm just like, nah, bro, I ain't going. I'm gonna be sick about it. Like, and I feel Carmella, like, that makes it like the fact that you brought it home is the first issue. Like, it came home. But yes, you embarrassed me with that, and you embarrassed me with the fact, like, if say Ro found out, like, damn, the one leg chick, damn, Tony out here wild.
Say, not even the fact that I fucked the one leg bitch, it's the fact that her cousin knows, and somebody told her. Like, there are multiple people out here that know.
I've
like,
been with the cousin and her.
Yeah, you out here fucking a bitch with no legs, bro.
I took a shot with her.
What?
Like, I liked her. I was cool with her. Yeah, it make me look crazy. Like, I actually liked her.
That's a great point, Spike. Like, not only did it happen, like, you mean I ain't even the first, second, or third person to even know? Like, y'all been talking shit behind me. Like, it's just where your mind takes it, bro.
Yeah,
y'all playing in my face,
bro. Like, you was dogging right now, bro. The same thing. All right.
I love Tony's. Listen, one of my favorite moments of this scene is when she gets on that bed, like, I don't care, just get out. I want you to get out. She gets on the bed, and Tony has that eye roll, like, man, get the fuck out. Because once again, it sucks to say. It sounds terrible to say, right? Especially with Tony, because he in the wrong. But that's I think every man feels that emotion. Just that I like, all right, man, settle down. Like, kind of, this ain't even that. You doing all this extra shit, crying,
which
wailing,
he
like,
emphasizes.
It's not even that serious.
Yeah, he gonna emphasize.
He roll his eyes and just walk out.
But her feelings are real, and we know that real women go through these things, and we don't want to.
World of Sopranos, everyone.
In the world of Sopranos. So keep that in mind, okay? But we know that women go through that, and it is BS. But Carmella is not in the clear here, so let's just be very clear. Y'all want to argue, debate? Good Earner Pod _ Sopranos.
Nah, she is though, bro. She is in the clear. She's in the clear in the sense of.
In comparison, yes,
the thing that frustrated us most as viewers about this season is she didn't actually go through with it.
Got you. Okay.
This nigga fucked the bitch with one leg.
Well,
I guess through with that, and she wouldn't even fuck Uriel, the ponytail, top of the line Italian nigga,
the Fabio.
And she would have had every excuse in the world to fuck him.
Right.
But you settled for this bitch.
She already did, but
exactly.
But no, I'm with you for the second time. But I you're right. But I guess for me, it's not necessarily her on the offense as far as like I could have did this, but I didn't. But more so on the defense of you've been functioning knowing who I was. But we'll get to that because that's not at this point that he acknowledges that. Tony goes to Irina's. I'm trying to move through a little quicker. Tony goes to Irina and Svetlana, but Irina's not there. And Svetlana comes out. What do y'all gather from this scene?
All this shit happened over some fucking federal withholdings. I gotta find somewhere. I'm separated. All of this shit happened when the irony of life. When I look at everything and look at the point of what happened, it's because y'all motherfuckers was arguing about some W-2 shit. Something as simple as that between y'all ended up to me being kicked out of my crib.
Labor.
It's just funny how life works. That's what I always
over labor disputes, nigga.
Yeah, that's always what I find. Like, this is some shit y'all, just because y'all couldn't settle it between yourselves, now I'm kicked out of my crib. It's just funny how life works, man. Because Tony, really funny because it's not like Tony doesn't deserve it. He been dogging Carmella. So it's not like you can point to that one thing, but ultimately, fucking W-2s and federal withholding took my marriage down. After all the wild shit I've done.
Hey, that's a crazy way to put it, Rich. That's funny as hell. And it's right though. And how cool she played it. Like, bro, like, I'm sorry you got caught up in the game. Yeah, me and her was beefing. Like Miro was beefing over some shit that didn't have nothing to do with you, and she told her.
She got salty. She told the news, and
insane, bro.
That and Zellman shit.
As a man, you pulling up, you looking for answers, you beating on doors, trying to get this bitch to come out and talk to you. And you like, this was it. This what happened. Ah, man, he got to make
that's that. Like, I'd be sick if I was Tony. Like, you mean to tell me?
Bro. And Tony did bring some of this on the show. If I was Tony,
I'd do the Carmella. I'd do the Carmella. I'd be holding my stomach sick. Like, oh, you can't tell me all this happened because of that.
Because this is what y'all blew my whole shit up over some bullshit ass, like 10% taxes, 15%, 20%.
You could have called me and I'd have covered it.
Like, I would have gave you that shit, bitch. Yeah. God.
But Tony brought this on himself too when he went and whipped Zellman, like because that breakup was already on the way. If you wasn't so dang, we talked about that. He could have
left that alone. If he had left
it alone, he would have still been.
But she would have never. But Tony whipping Zellman didn't even. It wasn't a direct cause of her finding out about Svetlana. Like that could have still happened, and she would have never known about Svetlana, which means she would have never called Carmella. It was the federal withholding dispute that got that argument sparked that said, you know what, I'm gonna tell Irina that know what I'm saying, she fucking your L dude. Like that's
talk about messiness, that's I ain't even going down that lane. But but she says kids don't trust after divorce. That's a really good one. I harken back to my own personal experience.
Same. I agree with that.
Yep. See, so and then
100%.
She bodied that. And then lastly, my hot take is that Svetlana, like he was like a little sympathy here. My hot take is that Svetlana would be the type of woman that would would be the one that be the closest to keeping Tony in line, because she's not like any of the other women he's dealt with. She does not buy into this being sympathetic, buying into these things or whatever. Like how she held his hands, like, look, you're a strong man, you'll be all right. And I feel like that. I mean, of course, there's no world where that would happen, just because of everything. But that's just a hot take of mine. I feel like Svetlana would be the closest, probably outside of like maybe a Melfi or something, if that were to exist.
Yeah, she the most honest.
Mm-hmm.
You can't fight honesty. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't fight honesty. Like I don't care what happens, because at the end of the day, I'm being honest. I'm being real about it.
Yeah,
like
I love that there is no Dr. Melfi here. Mm-hmm. Like I love that. That's the point that you bring up, Mo. Like he's not able to bounce these ideas off anybody. Like he felt like that this has came to serve its purpose and I don't need it anymore. However, now we're seeing all of these major life transitions happen to him, and he don't have anybody to talk to this. I don't got nobody to talk to talk with about these. The Johnny Sack shit, my wife wanting to end my marriage. This is when you need Dr. Melfi. And Absolutely. She ain't nowhere around other than a hang-up call that we see somewhere at some point.
That's a great point. Also, one other quick thing about Svetlana that separates her. She's very quick to there's no guessing game with her. Like, not only am I being honest, I'm also going to let you know I don't give a fuck.
Real nigga. Yeah,
I'm going to hold your hands. You a strong guy, Tony. You're going to figure it out. I'm about to go back in this crib because I don't give a fuck about none of this other shit.
I got a lot of shit to worry about, bro.
I got things to do.
You on the bottom of the list, my nigga.
You're going to figure it out. Mm-hmm. I trust that. Peace.
You're an American. You're an American white male, bro. You're going to figure it out. You're going to
figure it out, yeah.
Yep. Most other women would have asked Tony to come in, comforted them. Nah. Hate to hear that, but I got shit to do.
Yeah, that's why I like Svetlana, man.
Yeah, I fuck with Silver.
I do, for real. Tony goes to Whitecaps, and
this is crazy.
Yeah, what was beautiful during the day now just serves as another place with no meaning for Tony. It's dark now, and he's laying on the floor making his own pallet, opens a window. I don't have anything to add to that scene.
Bro, get in a hotel room, bro.
That's wild.
How you going? Like, what the fuck?
I mean,
this is weird.
Well, I mean, the money being tied up, I think he's looking at trying to cut corners,
bro. Go get a hotel room.
You're right. I'm just saying this is what I think his mind is.
Should be pulling up to this point. Okay.
I know. I'm with you. I think that's where his mind was, though. It's like, nigga, if I'm paying this, nigga,
I believe his story of I was gonna sleep on the boat.
Yeah,
I believe his story. I was gonna sleep on the boat. The boat's right there. The house right here. I ain't feel like driving to the hotel.
I do believe his story. You're right. Yeah, I think that's
like
more.
That's the only. It's still crazy. He didn't. The fact that he went to the boat before the hotel is crazy though too.
I mean, again, we talking about finances. Like, I'm not paying another dime. Like, we seen these guys trip over $3,000. Like, let's be very clear.
Fair.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, and they're doing well.
We talk about a night's sleep though. That's important.
It is, but you got to also remember
like out here. Like, I'm moving and shaking. I need a good night's sleep for the next day to be productive.
Remember when they
I'm going to go. I'm getting a hotel room. I'm not sleeping on the floor of some fucking house that I just nah. I'm not.
Well, but bro, you gotta think they whack Ralph and slept in the bean on the couch.
Circumstances presented themselves as to what it had to happen.
That well,
but
that doesn't change that. That don't change their alibi. Yeah, like nobody knew they was
spend $1,000 for a hotel room. Like I can spend that if I'm Tony. I can go downtown in New York to the Ritz or whatever it may be, and I can get a room service and I can just chill right there for the night. I don't think it's going to be multiple nights. So yeah, I'm not going. The last thing that I'm doing is going to Whitecaps and sleeping there.
I mean, that's facts. Yeah, that's facts.
I'm not doing that.
Adrian.
But again, we black. That's white folks' privilege shit.
I don't know if it's a white thing. I don't know, but I think it's like I think a lot of it's tied up into.
Oh, I gave him $200,000 for my house. I can go sleep. I think that's white people shit.
Oh yeah, the audacity of it, absolutely. That's definitely
the audacity of it. Is
the audacity of it, absolutely.
Hey, listen, if it was any of us,
nah,
it wouldn't have been Allan knocking on the door. It would have been the police saying you trespassed.
Exactly.
That's facts.
Thank you, Rich. Because the police coming when we sleep. They're not. What are you guys?
He's got a gun.
Exactly.
Yeah, if that was Lou. If that was Lou instead of Tony Soprano,
bro, come on.
What's this black dude sitting there knocking? Cops
doing
out of.
Stop reaching.
What the fuck is going on? Exactly.
Stop reaching.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I was just grabbing my cover. Stop. Reaching.
Absolutely not, my nigga. Yeah, come on, you going to jail or you gonna get shot?
A little dark humor there. Adriana meets with the agent. I feel like they trying to over sexualize her here. Like they show her
the Tarantino shot.
Come on, man.
The Tarantino
I was gonna go somewhere else, but I can't even do it because it's too sensitive. But I had another joke.
Legs and feet.
Yeah, definitely Tarantino. That's yeah. I mean, come on, man. Like I don't know. I was like, and then they showed it like Ash. I was like, I don't know why they're doing that, but it's working for me as a man. But only thing I got from the scene is the Vito, the fat guy, kept calling Adriana over and over, insinuating that he was trying to holler. Do y'all think that they had a different story lined up for Vito before the one that came later?
That's an amazing question because I always wondered why would they throw this in here?
Because remember, he talked about
next season, Vito brings it up.
What'd he say?
Okay. Oh, he does.
Vito was like, hey, when Chris was going, she kept calling me. He pretty much flips in and says she was the one calling him.
Interesting.
Because remember, he brings up Janice when he's talking to Ralphie. He's talking about like, oh, she got that curly hair and them breasts. I don't know. It just feel like
I don't know.
It works.
It's an
it still works.
Interesting breadcrumb.
Yeah.
I don't know if it. I'm not even sure if I agree with you, Mo, in the sense that it works. I just really think that it's interesting in what they thought that they were going to do with the Vito character.
Do you? So you think they had a different idea first, and they said, "Oh no, this will be more." Okay.
I think maybe they had a different idea for the Vito character in the sense of her relaying this information to the FBI agent versus what we get later.
Okay.
Because
that's what
it really don't. It really don't make sense. It really don't make sense
because he's going out his way. He got a Gumar. Like you going out your way, you got a Gumar like most.
Like why is this even important to you?
Yeah.
Like she said, the frequency that she said that he was calling on, like that's weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what makes the show so good.
This FBI agent, she sees him too. She definitely separates that personal shit. As soon as Adriana, do you have any kids? Like we ain't here for none of that.
Oh, quick, yeah. So,
I don't even know why you asked me that, right?
But she's doing her job though. She's killing it because she floats in and out of like making you feel like I care, but and Adriana got friends, so she's really working it.
Did y'all pick up on how much she's doing a much better job than the other chick did.
I mean, you don't.
Yeah, 100%.
Don't get me started. You know me, like I know how I felt about that like storyline.
I want to make sure it was understood that she was doing a much better job.
Bodying it. Allan wakes Tony up, and Allan tells him how to block Carmella. Bro, Allan's face.
Listen, listen, hold on, Bo.
This guy.
That's exactly what I want to talk about, bro. Real quick.
I'm gonna knock you out if you come in here knocking on this, knowing we working something, and I'm a mob guy. Don't come here with a sweaty shirt, knocking at me, looking like what's going on, dude.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing, Bo. This actor who plays Allan, they did a great casting job.
Yes, they did.
This is one of those weird circumstances where he's not in the wrong.
Yeah, he's not.
But the way he goes about it makes you want to slap him.
Absolutely.
And that puts you in a weird space because like I want to smack you even though you ain't wrong. It's just the look. If you just look at when he's knocking on the door and the shrug,
bro.
When Tony's trying to unlock the door, the way Allan just looks at him for like 3 or 4 seconds,
bro.
Like, bro, why the fuck is you looking at me like that, bro? Like I'll mush your whole face.
Why are you even here, bro? Like, why are you even over here talking to me, bro?
I shouldn't have keys.
It's very condescending. It's very He didn't have keys. I will say that. He knew the lock code. They put the padlock on. He put the code in.
He hit him with the Rentley.
Yeah, man. But I will say this: like, it's very condescending. Like, I don't like when people like are condescending and they look at me a certain way and just kind of like, why are you, bro? I swear, I'll yoke you.
Niggas want to do it. I'll do it on their turf, nigga.
I will do you right
on your turf, nigga.
Playing with me like this, yeah. Pulling up like Allan, I would. Oh man, go ahead.
Yeah, Allan got a different idea of what things is.
But he wasn't wrong though. That's what's crazy about it.
He wasn't wrong though. He wasn't wrong. It's just they got us. They got about a chokehold with Tony, man.
That's true.
But Allan, he gives him advice on how to block Carmella from all the divorce lawyers, which is a seed that we'll see later. Which I kind of forgot until I watched this episode. But yeah, Allan talking to him about liability and giving him, he shouldn't even be giving him insider tips. That's what makes him dirty too. So,
no,
go ahead.
I think it was brilliant in the sense of if you're even trying to go this route, if you're as dirty as I am in the corporate games, here's what you need to do.
Got you. Is this okay? I'll make sure that I missed something. Okay. So Tony, is this the same sequence? Tony talks to Allan and his wife.
He goes to the shower. Remember, Tony gets in the shower, and then after the shower, he comes over.
Okay, all right. That's what I was making sure. Okay, so
and he talked to them about getting out of the deal.
So now Allan wants to uphold contracts all of a sudden. He won't do that with Mr. Kim and Mrs. Kim. Now he wants to do that. So the wife says, like, he's a mobster, and Allan is familiar with mobsters. Is he trying to play here, or do y'all think this is kind of interesting that he actually, because he was talking about some case he was familiar with that he kind of had some dealings with, some kind of mob activity or something like that?
I actually respect the way that, it's ego for sure, and he told his wife after Tony left, like, he knows I'm probably gonna let him out, but he knows this is a negotiation. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not just gonna hand this guy $200K back. Like, sure, if you want to get out, get out. We're gonna do this the way that I know they used to doing it. And Tony, I think, respected that. That's why it didn't come down to like violence or real intimidation. It was more annoyance that got Tony what he wanted versus anything else. And I don't think I think he recognized the danger, but I also think he recognized he's not about to do no real shit. Like, of course I'm gonna let him out of this shit. I'm not about to beef with no mobster, but we're gonna have a talk. We're gonna have a negotiation. He's gonna have to figure out you can't just get out of this. So I respect Allan in this sense. Like, he's the right guy for this role.
He is. He has that scumbag vibe, but he's a good attorney, clearly. He's a great. We're gonna do I will say this: one day when all three of us will be able to do a Back of a Bing episode where we talk about one episode characters, and like some of who's the best one that y'all feel. There's some stuff in the later seasons we'll get into, but I think that would be a great episode. Talk about one-off characters. So yeah,
Allan Sapp wasn't intimidated by Tony Soprano, and that was impressive of him.
Yeah.
However, the way that Tony was able to make his life insufferable, it was a different story. Like you may be able to, as we've seen from the previous phone calls with the doctor that was looking to buy the house, like you may be able to navigate on these fields of intellectual intelligence. I'm gonna do these things and it's gonna make me come out on the end. But at the end of the day, bitch, I'm a gangster and I'm gonna do what I need to do at every means to make sure this shit happens. And I think that's the difference that we have from Allan Sapp to Tony Soprano.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Soprano is a real gangster. Allan Sapp thought he was a
corporate
gangster. Yeah,
like corporate gangster.
Thank
Yep,
you,
that's perfect.
Yeah, he thought he was a corporate gangster, and we're showing the difference between those two things.
Tony gets a phone call from Johnny Sack. We go to a sit down and they settle on 15%. Is this a better deal than what Johnny wanted when he wanted him whacked?
Yeah, because you don't have to go through the struggle of killing somebody or a boss of a family. That alone makes it a better deal.
I get this without the hassle.
Okay.
And I'm only giving up 15% compared to 40. Like I can live with that. I'm used to splitting with them. The fact that I'm eating 85%, like we can make that work without the blowback of I took out Carmine.
Which is why Carmine wasn't tripping as much because he got a lot of incomes elsewhere versus Johnny was like, bro, nah, I need, this is like the big majority of it. That 15 ain't cutting it. I need to go back to that 60-40 that we talked about. We go to Meadow and Carmela, and this is a real moment that Meadow is feeling because, like I spoke about before, when I got home from college, my parents had been divorced. I went to college, they were married. I came home, they were divorced. So I definitely connected with this on a strong level when she talked about like having to go to 2 locations. I didn't think we have to. And of course, Carmela said, hey, look, we had good times. And she's like, it was all predicated on BS. And then Meadow says that, is this about Furio? And she says, I've never been unfaithful to your father. Then Meadow does the weird thing that I always have a hard time understanding. She diverts her sadness in the opposite direction about Tony. This is a thing that they always do with her character, and I never understand. What did y'all gather from the scene?
You talking about when she said, like, you talking about with her line, I can't believe you ate shit for him for so many years?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I think that shows Meadow's complexity. Like, of course, she's like just like Tony. She's a daddy's girl. However, she is a very independent woman. She's like that example of new age, that turn of the millennium woman who was independent and was going to do fine on her own and educated and get her own money. Like, I don't need a man per se for anything. I think she lives that, and she can't believe that her mother would allow that type of behavior. Meadow's looking at it from the sense of there's no scenario you can explain to me as to why you let dad treat you like that. Like, why at one point you never put your foot down. I don't care what he's doing. And that's a different perspective. Carmela didn't grow up in that same age. Well, we just talked about it, excuse me, where Meadows, all the compliments that Meadows getting, that's the compliments that Carmela wants. She wants that life for herself.
Mm-hmm.
If she had been as fortunate to be Meadows' age now and know that that's a lifestyle path that I can take, then I'd love to do that. But I came in a different time where you have the ability to see that I don't need people like that. I don't need to be treated like shit because I can get it on my own. Where Carmela didn't come up in that. So I think it just goes to show that independence that she thinks about. And just that natural mother-daughter, just kind of quarrels that's even had. Like, you found a way to even spin this and make this my fault.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I think that's why they did it.
Great point. Rich.
I would.
He hit that on. He
hit it right on the nose. I would say that I feel like the whole. This might be a reach, but I still think they just do that weird thing with her, whatever. But anyway, I feel like the whole thing, and this is supposed to be like to tie a bow on it. This is one portion. The other portion would be the last argument of the whole why they didn't sleep together. Furio, just to have this moment to say, I've never been unfaithful to your father. Like, it just feels like this whole, like, anyway.
She could have lied. At that point, I wouldn't care. I prefer she would have slept with Furio.
Yeah,
I'm on record saying that. Like, I really would have preferred.
Yeah,
that.
But we'll keep moving forward.
Rooting for adultery is crazy.
Right.
Be an adult.
We sound crazy for saying that. It would have made for a much better show.
Yeah, for
Absolutely.
sure. Like we're in the world of Tony Soprano. Tony's at Vesuvio's. Artie says that he's sorry about his relationship, and Tony tells him like this is not al dente, just getting his pettiness off with his buddy. And then he says JS calls and he still wants to whack Carmine again. This is where Johnny gets all his bread. So versus Carmine. So anything I want to add to this Vesuvio scene?
That's one of those random lines that I'll just quote from The Sopranos.
What?
This is not al dente. Like, it's just one of those. It makes me laugh every single time. Like Tony just petty.
Hey, bro,
this nigga just say, I'm sorry to hear about you and your wife, but this nigga said this is not al dente. Fuck you and your apology, nigga. Back in the kitchen and learn how to cook.
Like, go take that stupid toy back with you. Go take that stupid gift back with you.
Fuck your
get my order back.
All that shit, nigga. Yeah. Fuck all that shelf shit, nigga.
Yeah, all that, bro. Yeah, this ain't al dente.
You
ain't family.
Get the fuck out of here, little nigga.
Yeah,
take that dumb shit with you.
Yeah, there we go. We go back to the Bing. Paulie's trying to change the narrative of his relationship with Johnny. He is going hard about changing that narrative. They all have a different perspective on how Tony's divorce should go. Paulie's like, man, bump that. That's your crib. And Patsy's got a more of a grounded view on it. And then Tony talks to Allan, and Allan tells Tony he's not getting his deposit back. And I pulled from the cold open of this episode where I tell you, he said, Allan, you got me, you got me all wrong. You must think I'm a thug, so to speak, to say, hey, you think I'm gonna come and try to whack you, rough you up? I got a whole different plan, which we'll see later. Anything I want to add to this Bing moment?
Nah, man. Just you're only a customer, man. One of my favorite Jay-Z lyrics, man. It's not on one of his albums. It's on the Streets is Watching soundtrack when he says, man, kill a nigga, leave him bleeding is nothing. Kill a nigga, leave him breathing. Now that's saying something. Like, I got ways to hurt you other than just being physical, bro. Like, I'm gonna get what I want, and it ain't gonna be the way you think how I'm gonna get it. I can still make your life a living hell, and that's even worse because you would at least have the satisfaction of knowing you ain't got to deal with the after effects if I just kill you. Nah, you got to deal with all this bullshit. And it's and what he does is genius. I'll never forget when Taxstone had talked about, like, if I'm beefing with somebody, I'm bringing it to their crib. Because now you got a problem at home. Allan had a problem at home eventually. Like, so I got to take care of this issue. Because I know my wife, and not only do I deal with Tony, I got to deal with my wife talking about this shit too.
And this is my third marriage. It ain't my first.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
I got to deal with
Yeah, when he was talking to Tony, when he knocked on the door, he's like, I've been up to bat 3 times already.
Oh, he definitely like a 3 marriage
my first
guy.
time doing it. Yeah, exactly.
Tony and Carmela. Carmela's not.
Who's Heisman? I'm sorry, man. Whose Heisman trophy did my man just have in the background?
Which one?
I don't know if y'all peeped that. Allan in his office, like, he got a photo of Rocky Marciano, and then right to the right of that,
see,
he got a Heisman trophy.
He probably like a
damn, I
big
wonder
deal
whose
attorney.
Heisman that is.
He's a big deal attorney then.
Yeah, it's probably one of like them Notre Dame dudes, like one of the 4 horsemen or something. I could just see that might be Reggie Bush's Heisman, man. He got in the office. Give Reggie his Heisman back, y'all.
For real. He ain't cleared that all up, man. Tony and Carmela. Carmela's not going in this moment. AJ helps take some seats outside. Tony uses a blow-up mattress and calls Chris and tells him the hit is off. Anything I gather from this scene with Carmela and Tony?
Just the fact that Tony, it is, but it just shows you they're really honing in on the fact, and they did this in the beginning when Tony drove up in the golf clubs. All I was thinking to myself was, how many times has Tony been in this position? To where I've done so many horrible things that I don't even know what this is about. Like, even when he knocked on the door, he even said, "What did I do now, huh?" Like, he's used to being in that position, and Carmela's taking him back every time.
Yeah,
and now she's slamming the fridge. Yeah, she's slamming the fridge door on him. Like, damn, you serious about this?
Slap the phone out his hand.
Yeah, he's serious. Like, man, this is my crib. I ain't about to go nowhere. Like, fuck you.
I'm gonna reserve. I will reserve some. Yeah. Well, he pulls out the gabagoo, and that's how he copes. But he couldn't even.
She ran up the stairs. She ran up the stairs like.
I don't love you anymore.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that hurts. That definitely that hit for me. That would hit more than Furio.
Facts.
Because she said, "Don't ever touch me again." And then
even
earlier,
with the conversation that we are about to have with them having later in the pool house, I don't love you anymore. That's insane.
Yeah, that'll hurt more than anything for me. It's like, dang, like I don't love you anymore. Like, yeah,
I don't give a fuck about what you do. Like, yeah,
don't. And she said, "Don't ever touch me again." It's like, dang,
get out. Yeah.
That's heavy. Like I said, they move the stuff out and he blows up the mattress. You know, and he calls Chris, and Chris has that moment like, you just drinking wine in front of me or whatever, and then she dumps it out or whatever, which makes sense. So Chris goes and he meets with the Hoods, and the subtle thing that I think is really accurate that they're doing without saying is how Chris is snacking throughout. He started drinking a soda earlier. He's snacking here. That is definitely a part of like fighting and trying to stay sober. I've been there before, having a problem with sobriety at one point, you know, or at least having a DUI and having to be like sober. You definitely will increase snacking and things that keep you occupied from doing what you're normally used to. So this is very accurate. Him just snacking all the time and eating and drinking other alternatives or whatever. Very accurate. But one line that I like here, y'all can add to whatever y'all want to this scene. He says, "You gonna keep your mouth closed?" He said, "I got lips of a statue, nigga." I just thought that was really good. But he got his young boys, and they pretty much killed the Hoods. Anything else y'all want to add to that?
Yeah, man. I love to tie around because Tony told him in the beginning, like, make sure. When he was in the car, and then on the phone he said, "I want you to make sure," which is told for there's only one way to be sure.
Yeah, really. I mean, we go to Tony in the pool. Carmela's looking out there and sees him. He's chilling on his green floaty. She says she would have. There's a lot that happens here, but she said she would have been okay with him cheating if he would have played things better at the crib to be loving, which was a very strong statement here to me. It was just like, bro, which is what I've been saying the whole time. I'm not so much bothered by all of us stuff. It's like, bro, you're cheating and you're a douchebag when you're around the crib. We've seen how moody he has been when we go back to like season 2 when he stopped seeing Melfi, like how moody he was. It was ridiculous. She's like, you need to get back in therapy ASAP. But this is a very long scene. I got a few debates here, but I want to see what y'all wanted to add to this scene. I know the next few scenes kind of wrap up pretty smoothly.
Are we talking about this whole thing? Him getting out the pool to?
If you want to break it in sections, we could do the pool part of it. So right here at the pool, what do you want to add to this scene?
Nothing really. Just it's that awkwardness, man. I've lived in houses where that awkward tension. I've lived in houses where your parents walk past each other, don't say nothing, something going on. Like it's just weird. Mm-hmm. He out there minded, like nobody wants to make that first move just out of pride. Mm-hmm. And then she brings up something random. That's usually how it is. And Tony's so annoyed that like you don't want to bring up the real shit. You bringing up this, and jabs at her. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to hell when I die, which is a great callback to season 1. I think that's a pilot episode when she said that. I think that's the very first episode.
It might be.
He went to the MRI. He went to the MRI when he was having the panic attacks. And we see Carmela obviously she's remorseful for that. She's always held on to that. Like, damn, I should have never said that. That was something evil to say, which plays out for her character.
Does she know? Does she know him better than everybody? That she says.
I didn't believe it when she said it. I get what she's saying, but I don't believe it. I think she believes it.
Okay.
But yeah, if you want to go into the actual pool house, that's when the shit heats up.
Okay. So let me get there. All right. So we go inside. Debate number 1. Carmela says, "You don't know me and you think I care about all these things. Tony says, he combats, oh, I forced these things on you. You would have preferred to drive a Honda and wear a little gold locket chain and be married to Toofy. She drops the bomb about Furio and he punches the wall. Again, not trying to be biased for if we have women listeners, shouts out to y'all. Please, matter of fact, y'all reach out. I would love to find out we got women listeners. Check us if we need to be checked. I would love that.
I'm sure Jordan's making up a list of comments right now.
Oh, come on with it, Jordan. We appreciate you. Hey man, I hope we have some other ones that are joining with Jordan for sure. So that first part.
Facts.
What do y'all think about that conversation? Carmela says that you don't know me. You think I care about all these things and I don't. And Tony says, oh, so I force these things on you. What do y'all think about that?
Man, that's one of those weird. I take it deeper than what it should be taken.
Okay.
Because I'm looking at it from the stance of this is the only version of Carmela Soprano that I know. I don't know, like, both things can be true, right? You know, I don't know how pure Carmela's heart was before Tony to where, because you don't know what you don't know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say she did end up marrying someone regular that only provided, and I hate to use the term regular, but that's the only thing I can think of. That only provides regular things. That yes, you're gonna drive maybe the newest version of this car, but it's still gonna be a Toyota.
Mm-hmm.
Like, ain't no Whitecaps, ain't no allowance. Like, you're gonna have to use that realtor's license because we're gonna need that extra income. If she starts out with that lifestyle, then maybe she doesn't need any of that extra stuff. But the fact that she's conditioned to it, I don't know if it's 100% fair because this is something that you provided. I don't know how many times Carmela asked for those things outside of the house. Like, we know she wanted him to buy Whitecaps, and Tony alluded earlier in the episode that it was her idea to buy the house that they live in now. So that leads to Tony. That supports Tony's argument of, like, you the one that wanted the house, you the one that wanted the Mercedes. I don't know if that's because Carmela knew they could afford it, or because that's who I am and that's what I want.
Mm-hmm.
And as a man, I'll be honest with you, like, it's one thing to provide. Like, I'm cool with providing. I want to provide.
Mm-hmm.
See, I said this on a T-Pain song. There's a T-Pain, the circus one. He had a feature on there.
Mm-hmm.
A woman who asks for nothing will get everything. A woman who asks for everything will get nothing.
Yeah.
And I think that's a mentality that a lot of men have. Like, I want to give you the world, but if you ask for the world, that's really going to piss me off and turn me off. Because it seems like you're only with me because of that. I can give you the world, but let me do that because I care about you, not because you see and ask, and that's the expectation. Yeah,
but then what? And then if I do that, then what do you have in return?
I know, right? My uncle.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with conversation with a woman once. Some years ago that I was dating. I was dating her, and we were talking about. We had a real conversation about rings. Not that I was in the middle of proposing, but it was just a conversation of she needs a nice ring. Like, and I said, you wouldn't marry somebody for the love of your life. If he said, I don't want to have a ring because it's materialistic, he'd give you everything else, you wouldn't marry him? She said, nah. And there was a big conversation about
crazy.
That. And I just thought it was crazy. I thought it was nuts. I get what she's saying, but her response was, I'm building your house. I'm raising your family. I'm doing this. I'm thinking, like, bro, that ain't enough. I don't give a fuck about none of that.
Nah.
But I understood her perspective as well. But it was very interesting. But I get. But needless to say,
we should build around.
Needless to say, we broke up not long after the conversation because it rubbed me the wrong way.
Oh! I didn't know that. I thought it was. Okay.
I wasn't a homegirl. We was actually dating. And we weren't at the stage of like where I was looking at rings. It just randomly came up. And when she said that, it just rubbed me the wrong way. Like, damn. Like, it seemed like you're a little bit more materialistic.
Was it like a foreseeable thing though down the road?
Nah, we weren't even at that phase. But it was more so just like, if we were to get there, that would rub me. I would think about this conversation. Like, you have to have a nice ring. I can't, like, she was like, I'm giving you your kids.
I can't get something for $1,000 right now. You know what I mean?
I'm like, damn. Like, and it just rubbed me the wrong way. I'm not saying she's wrong because I get that's a lot.
But dropping everything for this material is crazy.
Who I was at that age, I was still in my 20s. Like, who I was at that point in life.
Very passionate.
Like, you materialistic. Like, I can't rock with you.
Yeah, all right, go out there and see other choices. Debate number 2. Carmela says Furio made her feel like she mattered. I mean, this is all after Tony's punched the wall. Tony says the reason he slept with Svetlana and cares for these other women is because they have something to say, not oh man, I wrote that really crazy. I can't even read what I wrote. But she says that I have something to say, and Tony pretty much pushes back again. Was like, only thing you have to say is put this in the garage. Tony, I need this. And he basically saying, bro, you don't have nothing to really say. I don't have nothing to have a conversation with you about. What do y'all think about that debate, Spike?
I think that's all that he was looking for. That's all that he was looking for from her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, she's going to have these deep intellectual conversations with Furio because Furio sees her in a different light. Tony sees her in like, you're a homemaker, you're my wife. These are the things that I need from you, and I need you to do them well.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, she starts to get bored with that. Of course, Tony starts to get bored with that. And you have the scenarios that we see play out here. Her thing with Furio was, and the thing that makes her so frustrated is like, why didn't anything happen from this? It's because she's seen the possibilities of the things that could happen with her and Furio. And that's what frustrated us most as viewers, saying, okay, well, if the possibilities are there, then go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
What y'all holding back from? Just like with the father Phil or the contracted nigga, whoever
Vic,
it may be. Yeah, we wanted you to see, or we wanted you to act on these things that you thought that you could get away with. And the fact that you didn't frustrates us more as Sopranos fans when you're saying like, well, I could have did this and Furio was this, and it made Tony punch a wall through the, like, which was a great acting scene.
Yeah,
by the way.
really good.
I don't think
even how it's shot too.
Amazing scene. Yeah, I almost feel like that he wasn't supposed to do that, and she was surprised by it. Her face when he punched that wall.
Yeah, she for sure thought
that was amazing. Yeah, I don't know what was supposed to happen right there, but I do feel like that wasn't it, and they acted off that accordingly, and it was amazing. But yeah, to your point, Mo, it made me wonder what we were supposed to get from Carmella the rest of the season.
Yeah,
I'm assuming this is why people renew their vows, right? Because after a certain period of time, you have to refresh the marriage and make sure you understand why you're together. You know, if you still have the same goals as when you got together and things like that. This always makes me look at Tony as marriage to me was a benefit to you, Carmella. Like, I did more marrying you than you did for me.
Good point.
Like, you gained more out of this marriage than I did. You know what I mean? And Tony looked at it. If I could go back to when they met, I'm sure I don't have any doubt that he loves Carmella.
Yeah.
But Tony was looking for somebody to play a role. It doesn't really matter who it is. If you can take care of the home, raise the kids, handle the money that I give you, you know what I'm saying? Not ask too many questions, then that's cool. Carmella was looking for a partner, somebody she could actually love, and she thought it was Tony. Then she realized, oh, he just recruited me to play this role. I'm a 3-and-D guy. I'm a shooter. Like, I spot up in the corner and shoot. Don't do nothing else. I don't want you worrying about nothing else. And Carmella, like, nah, I can do it all. I can lead the team to the championship. And that's where their differences fell. Like, Tony, like, he doesn't need Carmella to do anything more than that. And she's like, nah, I got more to offer. That's always where you bump heads. I don't think either one of them really realized why they married the other in this moment.
For sure. I mean, you know, and she says you were my guy. You know, we. What I would say before I move through, because these next few scenes, I'm gonna kind of merge them together here. But she says, "Who wanted it like this? You tripped when I said I wanted to get a real estate license." And he comes back and basically say, "Bro, you was free to chill for 20 years, and all of a sudden now you want to do this?" She said she calls him a hypocrite, and again, Carmella's a hypocrite as well. Like, you're not this holier than thou figure, but it's realistic because people think like that. We've all been there in some regard. The next few scenes, Uncle Junior's courtroom scene. Tony calls Melfi, doesn't say anything. She star 6'9", the number's blocked. Uncle Junior gets a mistrial. AJ talks to Tony. He's very trash here. Anything y'all want to add between these 4 scenes? Okay.
Nah, you good.
Junior, Bobby, and Janice, they celebrate, but Junior looks out of it, and he tells Bobby to go check on an envelope he thought Merv should have dropped off, just because I think he don't like them two together. The boys bring out the stunts and speakers to the boat. Tony and Johnny meet, and Tony pretty much tell him, like, look, I'm out. I'm not doing that. And then lastly, the emotional scene of it all, the family meeting, and pretty much Tony says, hey, I think I better leave the house. And that, you know, it was an emotional scene for the kids. And that's pretty much where we leave it. Anything I want to add to those last 4 scenes?
Real quick. One, how embarrassing it would be to be hosting a function or hosting people at your crib. And you got this fucking boat playing this music, like knowing they fucking with you, like just the idea of that. And then the Tony and Johnny scene, I think, was incredible because it showed that Johnny, we cool as long as you're on my side. Like, this is very disappointing, and it might lead or foreshadow to possible things or possible feelings that Johnny has, and it shows you. We always talk about Johnny being the cool, collected one, the sly one. He's going off the handle, man. Like, there's a couple times where Tony was like, I shouldn't be hearing that. I shouldn't hear that either. Like, Johnny don't give a fuck, man. He's frustrated. And anytime you're that frustrated, that means anything's liable to happen.
Yep.
You know, and that Johnny's one of them characters, like, if he gets out of character, then everybody needs to watch out. But there's some deeper shit going on. But I just really love that scene because he didn't give a fuck. He really wasn't supposed to say that about Carmine.
At all.
And I've always liked Johnny's, like, the inflections in his voice. I'm supposed to trust somebody leaving me with my cock holding my cock like this?
Holding
like
my cock in my hand?
What is this, the you in now?
Yeah, that fucking what did he call it?
Both had those conversations.
What is he supposed to F my wife for $1 million?
or that disgusting fucking cocksucker idiot of a son of his? Like, damn, bro. Like,
he does a great job. Shouts out to Vincent, man.
Yeah. But that's it. That's all I want to say about that scene. This is great. I just love watching that scene.
Yeah, I love Johnny Sack is a sting.
Even that look.
Stiller,
even that
always.
That look that Johnny gives
driving
Tony
off,
when he pulls off. Like,
them scary eyes.
If I was Tony, I'm like, do I got to murk Johnny?
Yeah, because Johnny one of the people that you're in the right, but by the time you get done, you question if you're right.
Yeah.
He's that type of person. You be like, dang, maybe I am. Maybe I do need to call them.
That's a tough position to be in, man. That's a real tough position. Your man's. This is your man's. You know it's better. Yeah. You know it's better for business, but damn, man, I ain't trying
Johnny
to.
Sack was season 1. You know what I mean? He told him, like, yo, go talk to Junior and try to play him like, yo, I need him to run this money down for Hesh. All right. Before we get out of here, we will talk about briefly the best episode, each of us in that. But before we do that episode, rank Spike Lee. How do you rank this episode? Is it a good earner? Is it a just another envelope, or is it a made episode? I think it's pretty obvious, but
yeah, made. Obvious, made episode.
Rich,
we sweeping this. It's made.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you're nuts if you think otherwise. Made for me as well.
Shout out to Edie Falco, man.
Edie Falco, goodness gracious,
right, bro. Yeah, it's the Edie Falco show.
You like, think she's really going through this?
She really made me hate her in this episode.
You really made me think that she was really going through it. Like, she felt like she really was with him. Like, I'm married to this guy, and this is just acting. At some point, people got to realize, and they say, and cut. All them tears and all that. Somebody has to say, and cut. Go back to your trailer, next scene. Like, people don't realize,
point, Mo. Good, great point, Bo.
It's crazy.
Like, you look at this. Same thing with Skylar White from Breaking Bad. You look at this and you like, bitch, I hate you. Gosh. But at the end of the day, somebody looks at this and like, okay, cut.
Yep. Like, next scene.
even the decision for her not to wear makeup in the episode.
Oh man, yeah.
The eyelashes, you know what I mean? Like how she looked, looked so straight. Yeah, all of that, great.
It's really great.
Like even when women actors are disheveled, like they'll still have a little touch of makeup,
a little bit of touch. They'll wake up completely
with it. Nah,
she left all that shit off.
I was about to say Tropical Thunder line, but I can't do it. It's nobody goes full. Nobody goes full.
Yeah. Don't do it, man.
I'm better than that. There's a lot of things I could say right now. I'm not gonna say. Spike, who gets the good earner chain for this episode, man?
The good earner chain for this episode, I gotta give it to Tony, man.
Tony,
I know we try to avoid giving it to him because he's the star of the show and we all love him, and that's our ultimate anti-hero. But yeah, Tony he was trying his best with the Whitecaps, with the everything that he was presented with. He was trying to be the best husband. And
yeah,
I think he did
that he could be.
Yeah,
I think so. Rich, who gets the good earner chain for you?
It's a weird episode, man.
It is.
To discuss that. On one hand, on a minor note, I'm gonna give it to Junior. My man got a mistrial.
Okay.
On a bigger note, I'm gonna give it to Carmella.
Wow.
There is something to be said about. I can just see Carmella playing Mary J. Blige songs all throughout the crib once Tony goes. There's something to be said about finding that strength to finally stand up for yourself and leave a situation that you know has been bad for you. Even if it wasn't your decision, like you woke up one day and had the courage to do it, there were other, just contributing factors. But something about Carmella for the first time putting her foot down and trying to find her own happiness and peace, realizing and not budging from the fact of, yeah, I'm gonna take you back like all these other times. Like she was dead ass serious. Like, no,
God help.
I'm not with it. Get out this house. I don't know. There's something about where she was mentally and emotionally and the courage to take that step, knowing she could easily be Angie Bumpacero in a few months. Or Tony could really take Paulie's advice and kick her out on the street. All that type of stuff. So yeah, I think Carmella is finding herself, no matter how much it disgusts us, is worth a good earner chain.
Carmella really should be. It could be Trips here because I agree with you. Like I know we give her a lot of gripe and flack this episode, but it really should be Carmella. But I'm gonna go Christopher Moltisanti, man. He got out of rehab. He got right to business. Tony told him, "Yo, set up the hit." Tony came back and said, "Hey, cancel the hit." Tony, I mean, he was 2 for 2. Chris, 2 for 2. He did exactly. He did the job. No drunkenness, highness. He's working out. He's getting in his bag. He's ready to perform as a man.
Another possible winner could have been Carmine. Carmine got the S1I run. He got the S1I back running, man. True. Anytime he
got it running, but he don't know that though. But
he still won.
A win's a win.
Yeah, a hit is a hit.
A hit is boy. Come on. Who gets the Broken Balls award for you, Spike Lou?
Chris.
Okay.
With the conversation with Tony coming out, like you said, it's the first conversation we had. And you talking about this, the Adriana conversation with the wine there, like even trying to navigate through. This is the stage that I am in, and I need to get this forgiveness from people. And Tony being like, I don't think you should do that. All of that, like, yeah, that's the thing that made it rich for me.
You're a wild boy, man.
Why you say that?
That's such a reach. Like Christopher being the broken balls on this episode is crazy.
Yeah, man, he is, bro.
But that's fine. I got you. Rich, who gets the broken balls for you?
Big picture is going to be Tony. Like Tony's, as I said earlier, Tony's life got destroyed because of some federal withholding. That's insane to me. Oh, you don't know how much sleep I would lose if I ever found out that was a reasoning why my life is in shambles. Because y'all motherfuckers couldn't figure out.
So Tony,
$100 in tax. Tony's the official answer. However, the real answer, or not the real answer, but on a micro scale, it's the 2 black dudes. Damn. We got killed because we got killed because you asked us to do some shit, and then you didn't need us to do it, and we got murked because of it.
Just because
we had no control. I could see if we messed up. I could see if we fucked up something or botched up the hit. We didn't even get to do the hit. We got killed because you came to us and said you needed us to do something.
You changed your mind.
Then you changed your mind and realized, oh shit, since we told them we got to whack them. Talk about broken balls, bro. Like we could have just been chilling on the block minding our business.
That's the best.
We could have been chilling on the block minding our business, man. You ain't even had to get us involved in this. But since you pulled us in, now we got to die.
Now you kill us for this. Yeah.
Dang, that's really the best one, man. I'm gonna go Carmella, man. As bold as a move it was to say, hey, look, I'm out of this. I'm separated, divorce. I'm not trying to tie too much into the future, but it's definitely a broken balls for me with Carmella, because it's like you knew this was going on. Now it's in your face, and you don't really have a foundation of an argument, in my opinion. Everything you're saying it's invalid. You want to say, oh, now you got a one-legged one now, and she goes into this list of all these Gumars, but you've been with him. Oh, the secretary. Oh, the teacher assistant. You're going through this list, but you've been rocking for this long. And then you even told him, like, oh, I would be cool if you just be a little better around the crib. It's Carmella, easily. Like, because she got a rude awakening coming because you forgot who you were dealing with. Spike Lou, what was your favorite moment of this episode?
Excuse me, I'm sorry. My favorite moment of this episode was the boat, man. Them playing the music on the boat with bitch ass Allan having to deal with that.
That was good.
And his wife really being good. Like, bro, like just let them. Like, you ain't no gangster, bro. Like, you don't even do this.
Give him back his money.
Yeah, give him his money and get the fuck out of the game. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And I love that in the sense of that's the everyday white man thinking that they can win the battles that they think that they can win, and it's not the case.
I like that.
So it's that.
What say you, Rich? What's your favorite moment?
That's a great one, man. I keep telling you, man, make it a problem at home. Shit gonna switch up real quick.
Boy.
Facts.
My wife in my ear every other minute about this shit. Take your fucking money, bro, because I ain't trying to hear this shit no more.
Yeah, I don't want to hear this at home.
I'm not gonna overthink this. This is the pool house argument. Pool house argument is it for me, man.
So that's the second argument.
Yeah, that's not the initial one where he comes home like, what I do now? What's the matter? It's the pool house argument, because that's when
it turned up.
The first argument is anger. It's pure anger. It's reactionary. The second one, man, we had a chance to think about this. Carmella went into that conversation trying to take a different angle, and now the truth comes out. You know what I mean? And when that truth comes out, ain't no turning back. That's when you say things that you wish you could take back, or maybe not. Shit you've been holding in for so many years. It just shows how, like the scene earlier that I referenced when they were at the dinner table, man, trying to enforce the curse rule. It's too late. It's too late. These are conversations they should have been having years ago. Carmella should have been putting her foot down about when the preschool assistant happened, when all this other secretary, when all this shit happened. Carmella should have been done this. She's enabled Tony's behavior.
That's true. That's.
And I'm not putting this on Carmella at all. I don't want anybody to take it that way. But same argument I made about the money. Once you told me that it's okay to do this, the same way you let AJ cuss in the house for all these years, it's hard to take you seriously when you try to enforce some real shit. You don't know, nigga, I'm gonna keep cussing. Nigga, matter of fact, here's a $50 bill. Bill me in advance, because I'm still fuck what you talking about.
I'm getting it off.
Yeah, man. So that's all of that came to a head, and that really spun, going into season 5 and the whole family dynamic of the Sopranos.
Yeah, that's true. It's going to be a strong through line. My favorite moment would be the family viewing Whitecaps. It was like one of the last happy moments, genuinely, that we have. I mean, we'll get some stuff later, but it's not to this degree. When Meadow pulls up with Finn and they go and view Whitecaps, it was just a beautiful moment. I really enjoyed it. This is one of those episodes, crazy how it starts off one way and does a complete flip, which makes this so awesome. Lastly, before we get out of here, those are all our rankings. Spike Lou, what is the best episode of the season? I'll run them down. And I'm only going to go by the ones that you named made episodes. And if you need me to brief you on what it was, I will. So
yes.
Let me see. So Spike Lou, you said The Wait is a made episode. We know that's the Johnny Sack versus Ralph Cifaretto talking about his wife. You said Whoever Did This, which is when Tony killed Ralph, is a made episode. You said The Strong Silent Type. I don't even remember what happened in that episode. That was the next one after, but I don't really recall, because I got it. We all three got it as a made episode, but I don't remember
Oh, that's episode 10. That's the intervention and all that stuff.
Dealing with intervention. And
oh, the intervention. I always
that's
feel
strong,
like they
that's
should
a
have
strong
named it
silent type
different.
episode.
Okay, the intervention one. So you said the wait, whoever did this, strong silent type. You said Eloise, the last episode that we did. And then obviously Whitecaps. So you got 4 made episodes. Which one's the best? 4
made episodes. Which one out of the 4 were the best? The episode that Tony killed Ralph.
Whoever did this.
Yeah, whoever did this.
Okay.
That was the best episode of the season.
Rich, do you want me to read yours down, or do you know?
No, I know mine. I'm looking at it right now. Shit, man, this is a great question.
It is
my favorite episode of the season. All right, I want to differentiate. My favorite episode of the season is The Wait. It feels like Pine Barrens. It feels like one of those standalones. Like, of course, you need to know why Johnny Sack's mad, and you need to know about the joke. But outside of that, that's just a good standalone episode of Sopranos. I can watch it anytime. It doesn't have to be. I can just throw on The Wait at any time and just be amused because that shit's hilarious. The best episode of the season is going to be whoever did this. Whoever did this. This is Whitecaps is the most important episode. It's the most important episode of the season, but the best episode is whoever did this.
And I'm going to concur. Whoever did this, man, it is like I talked about season 3 when Livia died, and I talked about the funeral episode, how significant and strong that changed the trajectory. Whoever did this changed the trajectory of Tony Soprano. Knowing his son is in the hospital, and I'm gonna whack him anyway because I feel like maybe he killed a horse. That changes the whole trajectory of Dark Tone, as I speak about when we get in future seasons. But like he said, most important is probably the last episode that we just did. We could get into worse episodes, but for the time's sake, we're gonna let it marinate. For y'all listening, we will be taking a week off. So next week, y'all will not see anything in the feed that gives you time. If you're new listeners, go check an old episode out. For those that have been rocking with us, man, just stay tuned, stay waiting. Go follow the Instagram page, _Sopranos. You might see a meme or two. In the meantime, a week is not that long.
Season 5 on the way. Season 5 on the way.
Season 5.
We've been y'all been hearing us talk about Phil Leotardo forever. Y'all have been hearing us talk about Tony B forever. We here. Season 5. Let's get here. Class of 04.
Class of 04. Did you hear that, Thone? We're doing season 5 really soon. But we thank y'all for tuning in, man. Like I said, Good Earner Pod _Sopranos on Instagram. Our YouTube page, Good Earners, reviewing the Sopranos, the podcast. Y'all can find us on there. Subscription's doing really well. Y'all can also email us, goodearnerpod@gmail.com. Man, we really appreciate every person responding, leaving Apple reviews. We're thankful for y'all. We're grateful for y'all. We're having a good time. I hope y'all are having as much of a good time as we are presenting this to y'all. Stay tuned. In the meantime, remember, don't forget about it.
Don't forget about it.